Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Awakening Daily Information Panel, Become a True Immortal. Chapter 61. Baiyun Temple is more than 10 miles away from the nearest green tea market. The incense has long since ceased. Almost no one comes here. Although the green smoke rising here attracted the attention of some nearby people, no one came to check because it was too far away. The fire in the ruined temple burned until darkness fell. Qin Wang was still waiting aside and did not go to get the 5 elements divine light jar. Time flies. Early in the morning. Information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. Yesterday, you killed Lin Tong, who had been chasing you, and obtained information. Lin Tong was the youngest disciple of Su Tianai, the leader of the voodoo gang of the evil sect in Jinzhou. He took advantage of his master Su Tianai's madness to steal the 3-corpse Gu King jar. His master Su Tianai was furious after he regained his consciousness, and sent his disciples to look for the traitor Lin Tong and the 3-corpse Gu King jar. 2. You burned the 3-corpse Gu King jar yesterday and obtained information. Its former owner, Venerable Gu, was surrounded and killed by the righteous powers because he cultivated the evil Gu King. His body collapsed, and the human Gu merged into one, transforming into the sniffing spirit. Gu, Nirvana and rebuilding. 3. Yesterday, you were worried that Lin Tong's corpse and the 3-corpse Gu King jar of the voodoo gang were poisonous, so you burned them. We obtained information that the 3-corpse Gu King jar had been burned for an hour, and there was no poison on Lin Tong's body anymore. After the poison was burned out, Su Tianai will rely on the breath of the corpse of the poison planted in Lin Tong to find Baiyun Temple in 10 days. 4. You paid attention to Chen Kun of the Chen family yesterday and obtained information that Chen Kun and his cousin Zhou Yijian, 2 first-class bodyguards, had tracked them to the Maple Leaf Valley Black Market. 5. You wore the mysterious fragment yesterday and obtained information. The fragment of the same origin closest to you is located in Qingyan Fairy City. 6. You burned Lin Tong's body yesterday and obtained information that the sniffing spirit Gu that Lin Tong kept in the 3-corpse Gu King jar has escaped. 7. You paid attention to Qin Shuimei yesterday and obtained information that Qin Shuimei has started practicing the Flying Eagle body technique. 8. You read the preliminary explanation of the elixir of Master Qingyao yesterday and obtained information that Yingqiu Stream, where Master Qingyao was seated, is located in the Yulong Mountains in the northwest of Jinzhou. 9. Yesterday, you read Master Qingyao's preliminary explanation of the elixir and obtained information that Shaodanshanfang City, where Master Qingyao once stayed, is located in the Yunwu Mountains at the junction of Jinzhou and Yunzhou. The Forbidden Formation is shrouded in heavy fog all year round and is listed as a forbidden area by Dakang Kingdom. 10. You used the shocking knife to chop wood yesterday and obtained information that its former master, Ba Dao Yu Tianyang, has embarked on the path to immortality and has made great achievements. Refreshed. Lin Tong's master Su Tianai is looking for the 3-corpse Gu King jar. He planted the poison in Lin Tong's body. Will he find it here in 10 days? Qin Wang looked at the first, second, and third pieces of information, which were mixed. The bad news is that Su Tianai will chase him to Baiyun Temple in 10 days. Is it possible that he will chase him? However, by the time Su Tianai arrives, he may have arrived at Yingqiujian. The good news is, the poison on the 3-corpse Gu King jar has been burned clean by fire and can be taken away safely. Think of this. Qin Wang immediately stopped to check the information and came to the entrance of the ruined temple. Lin Tong had been burned to char, and among the ashes 3 feet away from his body, there was a black amphory about 1 foot high. Qin Wang put on his animal skin gloves, stepped forward with a stick, put it through one ear of the pottery pot and lifted it up. He carefully observed the ruined temple, dealt with the traces, and walked away after feeling that nothing was missing. Now, we can go to the northwest of Jinzhou and the Yulong Mountains with all our strength. Qin Wang looked at the 8th piece of information with expectation. I am about to get the immortal cultivation technique and embark on the path to immortality. Shaodanshanfang City is at the junction of Jinzhou and Yunzhou. I'll wait until I learn how to cultivate immortality, and then I can find a way to go to Shaodanshanfang City. Qin Wang looked at the 9th piece of information and made a secret plan. Qin Wang used the Flying Eagle body technique and galloped all the way to Qingshaji outside Linshan City. Linshan City is rich in tea. There is an endless stream of tea merchants coming to the green tea market. Qin Wang returned to a small farmyard where he and his sister Qin Shuimei stayed. The room was lit by a dim sesame oil lamp. Qin Shuimei had fallen asleep at the table. Qin Wang took the quilt, covered Qin Shuimei's body, and began to count the packages, preparing to go to Yingqiujian early tomorrow morning. The next day, after Qin and Wang finished breakfast, they bought some things in the town and headed to Yingqiu Stream. Wangzi, since you gave me a few slices of those 300-year-old ginseng to hold in my mouth, I noticed something strange. Qin Shuimei followed Qin Wang, feeling uneasy thinking of the strange things that had happened to her in the past 2 days. What's weird? Hearing this, Qin Wang slowed down. During the long journey, his sister's bones were weak, so he thought of cutting a few slices of 300-year-old ginseng for her to hold in her mouth on the way to replenish her health. After I took ginseng slices, the 2 leaves birthmark on my arm appeared early and has not faded. I remember in the past, it only appeared when the moon was full, and faded away at other times. Moreover, I have been dreaming every day for the past few days. I dreamed that I was standing in a huge elixir garden. Many elixirs in it can transform into babies. They are all very sticky to me. Qin Shuimei's beautiful eyes showed confusion. Then I'll stop eating the ginseng slices and see if the birthmark fades. Qin Wang looked thoughtful and said. He originally wanted to nurse his sister back to health, but after all, it was hard work on the road. If there were any abnormalities in the body after taking this ginseng slice, he could no longer eat it. Qin Shuimei nodded. Yulong Mountains, Yingqiujian. Shrouded in white mist, there are thousands of dangerous peaks with green pines on them. A deep stream that is more than 10 miles long appears under the dangerous peak. Occasionally, there are white birds flying over and the sounds of beasts. The sun is shining brightly. Qin Wang and Qin Shuimei stood on the left side of Yingqiu Stream, under a green pine. Wangzi, is that mysterious senior's cave you mentioned right here? Qin Shuimei held a wooden stick and looked at the Yingqiu Stream under her feet, with shock in her beautiful eyes. The air here was much better than other places. Yes. Qin Wang nodded. Intelligence showed that the cave where Master Qingyao was enthroned was located in Yingqiu Stream. However, Yingqiu Stream was more than 10 miles long, with steep peaks and no place to stay. It would take a lot of time to find it. The two of them trekked all the way. Sister, it's too dangerous here. Can you wait for me in this gap? Qin looked at the misty Yingqiujian and said to his sister. He decided to go find it alone. Not far away, there is a gap in the mountain wall. My sister has no internal strength, so she feels more at ease staying inside. Well, then be careful. Qin Shuimei also knew the danger. Her beautiful eyes showed worry, and she warned again and again. Okay, I know. Qin Wang placed his sister in a gap in the cliff. Then, he used the flying eagle body technique to search along the Yingqiu Stream. Until dark, Qin Wang could not find the cave where Master Qingyao lived. But, Qin Wang was not discouraged. He also knew that the methods of immortal cultivators were unfathomable, and the caves where they lived were certainly not easy to find. The next day, Qin Wang held the preliminary solution of Master Qingyao's elixir in his hand and continued to search for Master Qingyao's cave on both sides of Yingqiu Stream. Until it got dark, I still found nothing. The siblings had already prepared to spend the night in this mountain crevice. It's worth noting that I took Master Qingyao's elixir for the first time today, and finally got the information. In the early morning, Qin Wang's eyes suddenly lit up when the information was updated. 5. Today, you took the first solution of the elixir and went to Yingqiu Stream to search for the cave of Master Qingyao. You obtained information that the place where Master Qingyao was seated is located 5 feet below the 3 green pines on the left cliff of Yingqiu Stream. A cave covered by vines. 3 green pines 5 feet below. Vine. Qin Wang took a deep breath and looked forward to it. He and his sister were on the cliff on the left. Moreover, 100 feet away from him, there were indeed several vines as thick as an adult's arm, with 3 green pines on them. But, under the vines was the bottomless Yingqiu Stream. He didn't see a foothold or a cave. Qin Wang didn't dare to go down in a hurry. He had to wait until daybreak. The jet is so dark that if you don't get the immortal skills, you will be doomed if you fall down. The next day, the morning sun passed through the gap and fell on Qin Wang like a sword. When he saw that his sister was still awake, he immediately took off his robe, covered her body, came outside the gap, and looked at the vines. Because it's winter, there are only a few leaves on the vines, only dense vines hanging on the cliff, and the stone cave covered by the vines cannot be seen clearly. A stone recess with a foothold. Qin Wang observed carefully that there was indeed a stone depression on the cliff, but it was covered by vines. Qin Wang looked at it again and decided to grab the vine and slide down. He took a look and saw that the roots of the old vine were as thick as a bowl and were deeply rooted in the cracks of the stone. It should not be a problem to bear his weight. Wangzi, be careful. At this moment, not far away, Qin Shuimei woke up and stood in the gap of the stone wall, with deep worry in her beautiful eyes. Qin Wang nodded to Qin Shuimei, grabbed the vine with both hands, stepped on the first stone recess on the cliff, and slowly slid down the vine. Stone cave. Qin Wang slid down 5 feet along the vines. Following the gap in the vines, he saw a cave that was more than 10 feet high. The space inside seemed to be quite large. Qin Wang immediately grabbed the vines, jumped down, and landed firmly at the entrance of the cave. Qin Wang held the shocking knife in his hand and slowly approached the entrance of the cave. Following the sunlight coming in, he saw that the inside of the cave was man-made. It was a stone room 3 feet in diameter. There was a stone table in the middle of the stone room. There was a mummy sitting on a stone futon against the wall, with eye sockets. Deeply sunk, darkened, and scary looking. On the stone table, there was a gray package and a dusty, 2-foot square black wooden box. The package was weathered and torn, revealing some long white strips inside. This should be Master Qingyao. Qin Wang looked at Master Qingyao, who had become a mummy, and then carefully checked the layout of the stone room. After confirming that there was no danger, he looked at the black wooden box on the stone table with hot eyes. Intelligence shows that the place where Master Qingyao sits and transforms has its own cultivation techniques. This technique is an immortal technique. Qin Wang used the shocking knife to pick up the box, and came to the place where the sun shined at the entrance of the cave. He hid aside and carefully picked it open. When the box was opened, no poisonous arrows were shot out. There were only 2 books and a letter inside, and a gray palm-sized bag. Qin Wang looked at the 2 books first, and his heart was pounding suddenly. This is clearly the Immortal Dao Kung Fu 5 Elements Gathering Skill and Fire Spirit Sword. There is a signature on the letter. The words are left for a destined person. Leave it to a destined person. Qin Wang put on his animal skin gloves and opened the letter and took a closer look. Love rises with the wind, but it is difficult to calm down when the wind stops. Turning to the first page, there is this sentence, followed by the name of Master Qingyao, Zhang Fan, who was visiting relatives in the secular world and was intercepted and killed by Zhao Yulong, a close friend of Xiao Danshan. Although he escaped, he was seriously injured and on the verge of death. The most regretful thing in his life is that he could not grow old together with the love in his heart, Zhang Panpan. Now he will give the spiritual stones, the exercises he practiced and the storage bag to someone who is destined to have a destiny. He hopes that the destiny person can help him go to the elixir gate and inform Zhang Panpan. In his mind, there was a regret. The letter didn't mention anything about helping him get revenge. And the letter mentioned that the spiritual consciousness needs to be born in the middle stage of qi refining. I was worried that the destined person would not be able to open the storage bag when he first entered the immortal path, so he put the skills and some spiritual stones on the stone table. Senior is really an infatuated person. If one day I can meet the one I love, Zhang Panpan, I will definitely tell him my true feelings. Qin Wang deeply clasped his fists at the remains of Master Qingyao. Master Qingyao is indeed thoughtful. Otherwise, he is currently unconscious and cannot even open the storage bag. With this, you don't have to worry about having too many things to carry. Qin Wang immediately looked at the gray bag, took a deep breath, and murmured. The letter mentioned that this gray bag is Master Qingyao's storage bag. I have more stuff now. A large bag of 5 elements divine light jar, soul gathering bowl, treasure bowl, shocking knife, Qingyu small sword, gold jewelry and silver invoices, Qiang magic, first solution to the pill, yellow jade, etc. It would be inconvenient to carry it. It's so convenient if you have a storage bag. But you still need to cultivate to the 4th level of qi refining. Inside the weathered package on one side were 50 low-grade spiritual stones left by Master Qingyao. The spiritual stones were about 2.5 inches long and 1 inch wide, exuding a strong aura of pure spirit. This trip has indeed yielded a huge harvest. Qin Wang immediately put 50 spiritual stones, letter paper, 5 elements gathering skill, and the fire spirit knife into the bag he brought with him. He immediately picked up the frightening knife, cut some stones on the stone wall, sealed the cave, and carried the harvest on his back. Return the way you came. The terrain here is special and it is impossible to bury Master Qingyao in peace, so the cave can only be sealed. Wangzi, slow down, be careful. Qin Shuimei stood in the gap on the top of the peak, watching Qin Wang climb up the vines, with her heart in her throat. Qin Wang agreed, grabbed the vines, and used his strength on the cliff wall, like an ape, and landed next to Qin Shuimei. Qin Shuimei quickly grabbed his arm, as if she was afraid that he would fall. Sister, it's done, let's go. Qin Wang's face was full of satisfaction. This time it was fruitful. He planned to go to the small town at the foot of the mountain, rent a small courtyard, and learn the 5 elements gathering skill first. Qin Shuimei nodded and followed Qin Wang down the mountain. Yingchoujian, 50 miles away. Hongye town is a town with a population of nearly 10,000, somewhat similar to Qingnuji. Qin Wang took his sister and rented a 3-room large tile-roofed house at the back of the town. There were yards at the front and back where they could grow vegetables. It was very quiet. Afternoon. In the kitchen, the aroma of broth came out. Between heaven and earth, there are spiritual energies such as gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The energy of the 5 elements enters the body, which is the gathering of the 5 elements. Qin Wang sat cross-legged in the room. In front of him was the 5 elements gathering technique. He followed the formula above and silently visualized it. Yuzhou border. Linshan City is 30 miles away from Qingcha Mountain. Where did the 3 corpse Gu King jars go? Who took my treasure? A tall old man with snow-white hair and a ruddy complexion looked at Lin Tong's charred corpse in the ruined temple, his eyes like a vicious snake, and a terrifying aura spread from his body. Beside Su Tianai, 7 young men with strange auras stood aside in silence. Master, get out and look for me. If we can't find the 3 corpse Gu King jars within 3 days, everyone will die. Su Tianai waved his sleeves, and immediately, the 7 disciples rolled down several feet like gourds on the ground, rolled up and scattered in all directions. Now, Su Tianai was extremely angry. The 3 corpse Gu King jar is related to whether he can advance to the true innate realm of martial arts. No room for error. These fools are so courageous. They are not dead yet, they are just having a crazy attack, and they are starting to take advantage of the master's treasure. If these idiots hadn't been of some use, I would have crushed them to death with the Zimu Gu. Ha, baby, why are you here? Where is the 3 corpse Gu King jar? Suddenly, Su Tianai saw, near the ruined temple, a finger-thick, 3-inch long, snow-white Gu silkworm slowly crawling over. It was the sniffing spirit Gu, stolen by the young disciple Lin Tong. The sniffing spirit Gu was now, where are the 3 corpse Gu King jars? The sniffing spirit Gu quickly climbed onto Su Tianai's hand, and its long tentacles continued to expand and contract, pointing in the direction of the green tea collection at the foot of the mountain. Su Tianai was overjoyed when he saw this, and immediately picked up the sniffing spirit Gu and rushed down the mountain. Yingchoujian, 50 miles away. Hongye town. Night, 7 o'clock. In a quiet 3-room large tile-roofed house, Qin Wang looked at his sister sitting cross-legged with disbelief in his eyes. Sister, have you started? So quickly. Yes, I practiced it twice and I felt the air flow. Qin Shuimei blinked her beautiful eyes and looked very surprised. Sister, it seems that you have a good talent for cultivating immortals. Qin Wang looked at his sister and was shocked. What spiritual root talent is this? To know, he has practiced the 5 elements gathering technique no less than 10 times, but he still hasn't sensed qi. Wangzi, it's just a coincidence. If you practice more, you should be able to sense qi soon. Qin Shuimei comforted Qin Wang and said. Qin Wang nodded. It seemed that his sister Qin Shuimei's spiritual roots were very good. He would practice it a few more times to see if he could get started. Early in the morning. Information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. You inspected the 5 elements divine light jar yesterday and obtained information. Su Tianai, the leader of the voodoo gang, rushed to Baiyun Temple. He did not find the three-corpse Gu King jar, but met the returning, sniffing spirit Gu. If you follow the trace, you will be traced to Hongye Town in 15 days. Su Tianai is currently half-stepped to the innate realm of martial arts, and he is bound to get the three-corpse Gu King jar, because this is the key for him to step into the true innate realm of martial arts. 2. You inspected the 5 elements divine light jar yesterday and received information that Su Tianai, the leader of the voodoo gang who once owned the 5 elements divine light jar, suffered from a manic attack and took Yang Qingyan, the youngest son of Jinzhou Qinglong Association leader Yang Yuding, and the 2 accompanying guardians. Yang Yuding searched for the murderer but couldn't find it. 3. You practiced the 5 elements gathering gong yesterday and obtained information. Murong Juhua, the founder of the 5 elements gathering gong, resisted foreign humiliation for the human race in the Great War of All Spirits. He turned his back on all living beings, ruled for eternity, shed the last drop of blood, and finally reincarnated. 4. You observed the spirit stones yesterday and got information. Wanwaman, one of the 3 major immortal sects in Dakang Kingdom, discovered a spirit stone mine in the Tianyan Mountains. Ba Daoman and spiritual medicine sect came to force them to share a piece of the pie. Wanwaman, it is difficult for the family to defeat 4 people with 2 fists, and they are forced to agree to jointly mine the spirit stone mine due to the situation. Shangguan Haitang, the leader, thinks that under the current situation, the only way to break through is to break through on his own, or to receive the help of talented fairy seedlings to strengthen and break through. It was too difficult, so he decided to recruit more disciples again, hoping to gain something. 5. You inspected Master Qingyao's storage bag yesterday and obtained information. Master Qingyao's storage bag contains spiritual stones, magic swords, and elixirs. 6. You watched the Fire Spirit Sword spell yesterday and got information. The Fire Spirit Sword spell was created by an elder of the Ba Dao sect and requires the Fire Spirit root to practice. 7. You paid attention to Qin Shuimei yesterday and obtained information. Qin Shuimei was worried that she would be holding you back. She was thinking hard about how to solve the problem. At the same time, she practiced hard and quickly became an immortal. Because she took 300-year-old ginseng tablets, she awakened the ability to sense the spirit. The talent of medicinal herbs. 8. You wore the mysterious fragment yesterday and obtained information. Since the mysterious fragment has the effect of calming the mind and increasing the spirit, in the long run, your spiritual awareness will far exceed that of monks of the same level in the future. 9. You obtained the relics of Master Qingyao yesterday, obtained information, and intercepted Master Qingyao. Zhao Yulong is currently the Foreign Affairs Elder of Shaodanshan. 10. You practiced the 5 elements gathering gong yesterday and got the information. You will get started with the 5 elements gathering gong in 7 days. Has it been refreshed? Qin Wang looked at the panel with expectation in his eyes. The leader of the voodoo gang, Su Tianai, is half-step innate in martial arts. With the help of the sniffing spirit Gu, he will find Hongye Town in 15 days. Qin Wang looked at the first piece of information and frowned deeply. I am currently in the middle of the second rate, and Su Tianai is already half-step innate in martial arts. If he encounters him, he will definitely die. His grandmas. No, we can't passively wait for people to come to our door. We must find a way to deal with Su Tianai. Qin Wang looked very gloomy. He hated the feeling of being hunted. He hated it very much. At present, he could only rely on the intelligence panel. Su Tianai had a manic attack and sucked the brain of Yang Qingyan, the youngest son of Yang Yuding, the leader of Jinzhou Qinglong Club, and the 2 accompanying guardians. Qin Wang quickly glanced at the following intelligence, and when he saw the second intelligence, his eyes suddenly lit up. This intelligence might be used to let the Qinglong Club and the voodoo gang fight each other, so that Su Tianai would have no time to hunt him down. Qin Wang came to Jinzhou and had a little understanding of the underworld forces in Jinzhou. There are 3 major underworld gangs in Jinzhou. They are the Voodoo Gang, the Qinglong Club, and the Shahu Gang. These 3 gangs are distributed in the 46 counties of Jinzhou and are evenly matched. If the leader of the Qinglong Club knew that his son Yang Qingyan's brain was sucked by Su Tianai, he would definitely fight Su Tianai. After reading the second intelligence, Qin Wang had a clue in his mind. Continue to read the rest of the information. The founder of the Five Elements Gathering Yuan Gong is Murong Juhua, the Wanling War. Qin Wang looked at the third piece of information and was very curious about the Wanling War. This is the second time that the panel shows the information about the Wanling War. He didn't expect this Five Elements Gathering Yuan Gong has such a history. The Wanhua sect, one of the three major immortal sects in Dakang country, recruits disciples. Seeing the fourth piece of information, Qin Wang's heart moved slightly. If he wanted to practice steadily, joining a sect was the best choice. Originally, Qin Wang was going to Shouten Mountain, but with this news, the Wanhua sect was a better choice. He would have to brush up on the news of the Wanhua sect later. Skip the fifth and sixth. Sister took the 300-year-old ginseng tablets and awakened the talent of being able to sense spiritual medicines and spiritual herbs. Seeing the seventh piece of information, Qin Wang was shocked. No wonder his sister sensed the qi after practicing the Five Elements Gathering Yuan Gong 3 times. It turns out that she has the talent of being able to sense spiritual medicines and spiritual herbs. Because I wear the mysterious fragment, my spiritual awareness in the future will be far superior to that of the cultivators of the same level. It seems that I have to pay more attention to the remaining fragments. Qin Wang looked at the eighth piece of information and calculated in his heart. One piece of fragment has such an effect. What will be the effect if all 50 fragments are gathered? The ninth one is omitted. Will my Five Elements Gathering Yuan Gong enter the stage after 7 days? So, I have spiritual roots. Qin Wang looked at the 10th piece of information and breathed a sigh of relief. Although entering the stage after 7 days is much worse than my sister, it's okay to be able to cultivate immortals. With a panel with liver proficiency, you can always stand out. The first thing to do is to inform Yang Yuding of the news that Su Tianai sucked the brain marrow. Get rid of Su Tianai. Qin Wang calculated in his heart. While dealing with Su Tianai, we must also practice the Five Elements Gathering technique. Qin Wang stood up and prepared to take his sister to leave Hongye town overnight. Now that he knew that Su Tianai was coming, he naturally stayed away from danger as soon as possible. Now that it has been exposed, we can no longer use the names of Tianji Pavilion and Bai Shao Shenzhen. You have to think of another way. Qin Wang thought secretly. If the original method is used again, it will inevitably attract the attention of Chen Kun, Zheng Lingyun, Qi Shun and others. He decided to send a message instead, and give the disguise to the disciples of the Qinglongwei, and ask them to hand it over to Yang Yuding. At the same time, he could also pass the news to Jinzhou County and let Jinzhou County deal with Su Tianai. Thinking of this, Qin Wang immediately called his sister. The two of them packed up and left town overnight. Qin Wang has also thought about the content of the letter. The leader of the voodoo gang, Su Tianai, suffered a mania due to practicing voodoo kung fu and drank the brains of Yang Qingyan, the youngest son of Jinzhou Qinglong Association leader Yang Yuding, and 2 accompanying guardians. Voodoo gang Su Tianai practices voodoo skills. Every full moon night, he will be delirious and crazy for 3 hours. He needs to suck brains to calm down. So far, he has killed 89 innocent people in Jinzhou. 7 days later, Jinzhou. Chenggalin City is one of the 4 largest cities in Jinzhou and is also the headquarters of the Blue Dragon Society. This day, early morning, the leader of the association, Yang Yuding, who was dressed in a brocade robe, stood in the main hall of the main altar, looking at the protector Zhang Kong in front of him, his brows furrowed and his expression dissatisfied. It's been almost 2 months and you still haven't found any clues about the murderer. Master, the young master and the 2 guardians were visiting Panli Lake at night. They only noticed a white shadow in the surrounding area and disappeared in a flash. Plus it was dark, so we couldn't see the murderer clearly. Zhang Kong looked troubled. During this period, the Qinglong Society searched almost the entire Jinzhou, and even offered heavy rewards for clues, just to avenge the young master, but they still found nothing. Master, my subordinate woke up early and found a throwing knife stuck on the door, with a letter tied to it, writing the news of the murderer who killed the young master. At this moment, a middle-aged congregant with a small green dragon embroidered on his chest walked in quickly and respectfully presented a letter with both hands. News on the murderer. After hearing the middle-aged man's report, Yang Yuding reached out and grabbed the letter from the middle-aged member's hand, then unfolded it and read it. Right now, 3 more congregants came in with identical letterheads to report. Su Tianai went crazy while practicing voodoo, and he needed to suck brain marrow to relieve it. After Yang Yuding read the 4 identical letters, a terrifying murderous intent flashed in his eyes, and the aura of a half-step martial arts innate spread out, and he ordered in a deep voice. Zhang Kong, summon the 4 guardians to follow me. No matter who the messenger is. No matter what his purpose is, he doesn't care. He just wants to confirm whether Su Tianai is the murderer. If it was really Su Tianai who did it, then he would fight to the death. I vowed to cut him into pieces. Peeling and cramping. Avenge your youngest son. Because his youngest son Yang Qingyan and his 2 guards were indeed left with a big hole between their eyebrows, and their brains were sucked dry and they died. Just now, the letter gave the hiding place of the 86 corpses whose brains were sucked out by Su Tianai, Biliu Villa in Qiyang County. Qiyang County is adjacent to Chenggalin City. Biliu Villa was a branch of the voodoo gang in Qiyang County. He wanted to go to Biliu Villa to confirm that if the wounds on the corpses at Biliu Villa were the same as Yunner's, then it would be certain that the murderer was Su Tianai. Yes, leader. Zhang Kong clasped his fists respectfully, took 3 steps back, then turned around and left in a hurry. Chenggalin City. Behind the street, in a small courtyard. Qin Wang. Lifespan. 1875. Realm. Qi Refining Stage 1 1/1000. Immortal Technique. 5 Elements Gathering Skill Introduction. Progress. 1/1000. Effectiveness. Condensing the spiritual energy of the 5 elements, refining the body, and refining mana. It can be completed in 5 years. Finally, I have entered the path of immortality. Promise of eternal life. Qin Wang sat cross-legged on the couch, holding a crystal-like jade spirit stone in each hand, looking at the right side of the page with a look of surprise in his eyes. After 7 days of practice, he used the 5 elements gathering technique to finally gather a trace of air flow. Lifespan increased by 8 years. You know, his previous lifespan was 67 years. As this mana, Qin Wang felt the airflow and his eyes gradually brightened. This airflow is dozens of times purer than my second-rate mid-level internal energy, and it contains terrifying power. But, at the moment, it is still necessary to transform the internal power of the second-rate middle stage in the Dantian through the 5 elements gathering technique, remove the waste and retain the essence, and condense it all into magic power. Yesterday, Qin Wang rushed here with his sister. In the early hours of the morning, he dropped the news about Su Tianai at the door of several small altars of the Qinglong Club. He did not dare to go directly to the leader of the Qinglong Club, Yang Yuding. With the same reputation, how could his cultivation level be so low? With his current level of cultivation, he would definitely not get any favors from Yang Yuding. Once the letter is delivered, the purpose is achieved. Next, just sit on the mountain and watch the fight between tigers. It would be better if Yang Yuding killed Su Tianai, but if he didn't kill him, he would continue to attract opponents. Qin Wang also sent the letter to the chief inspector of Chenggalin City. Su Tianai sucked the brains of 89 people. This happened in the territory of the King of Jin. No matter what King Jin was like, he wanted to maintain the reputation of loving the people like his son and the peace of the territory. He will definitely not let Su Tianai go. After killing Su Tianai, I will go to Yunzhou to see if I can join the Wanhua sect with my sister. Qin Wang secretly planned. In the past few days, he had paid attention to Wanhua sect and got several pieces of information about Wanhua sect. Among them, there was Fengming City in Yunzhou, the place where Wanhua sect recently recruited disciples. Dakang Kingdom has a vast territory and is home to 3 major immortal sects. Yunzhou falls within the Wanhua sect's sphere of influence, and the Wanhua sect can set up points in the prefectures and counties under its jurisdiction to recruit disciples. Just join the 10,000 Flowers Gate. Then you can practice peacefully. Jinzhou, Chengping County. In the drunkard's restaurant, there are only 2s and 3s of diners. A middle-aged man wearing brocade clothes, with a sword hanging on his waist, with a white face and no beard, sitting by the window. Next to him, sat a 31 or 12-year-old man, and 2 old men. These 4 people were Chen Kun, Zhou Yijian and 2 guards. The 4 of them pursued the middle-aged couple all the way, but always missed a step. Now, they lost the news of the middle-aged couple. Chen Kun felt irritable, so he drank in this wine shop to drown his sorrows. Cousin, don't worry, I have sent a message to my father. He will issue a wanted order to arrest the middle-aged couple throughout Yunzhou. As long as we catch them, we will skin them and make them regret coming into this world. Zhou Yijian comforted his cousin Chen Kun. He sent a message to his father in Yunzhou in Yanyan County. This was a good time to hug him. He also received a summons from his father and did not need to return to Yunzhou. Together with the two guards, he helped his cousin track down the murderer. Chen Kun raised his neck and drank all the wine in the bowl, then slammed the bowl on the table, thinking a lot. Cousin, as far as I know, something happened to the Chen family and all the servants were found. Only the virgin Qin Shuimei is missing, and her brother Qin Wang is also missing in Yanyan County. I suspect that the middle-aged couple are most likely Qin Shuimei's siblings. At the beginning, Zhang Kecheng was the one who found Qin Wang's body through the Baishao Divine Lord. He went to arrest him and was killed and burned. There were no signs of a fight at the scene where Zhang Kecheng was killed. From this, it can be inferred that he was assassinated and died. Assuming that Qin Wang is the Divine Lord Baishao, with Qin Wang's age, it is impossible for him to be an opponent of Zhang Kecheng, who has a second-rate late cultivation level. But what if he uses San Gong poison to plot against him? This can match up with the middle-aged couple in Nancheng who used San Gong poison. Another one, Yan Po, Zhang Kecheng, and the Chen family all have one thing in common after the accident: burning. Yan Po and Zhang Kecheng have a dispute with Qin Wang. Then Qin Shuimei was designated as a virgin by her aunt and will be sacrificed. She has a grudge against the Chen family. It can be inferred from this that the middle-aged couple in Nancheng San Gongdu are disguised by the Qin family siblings. Even if my guess is wrong, as the old saying goes, it's better to kill the mistake than let it go. Zhou Yijian's eyes flickered and he suddenly spoke in a deep voice. Cousin, the authorities are obsessed with it. Let me analyze it after you. I'm afraid they really are these little beasts. Chen Kun's fists clenched, a cold light appeared in his eyes, and he stood up suddenly. Chang'an City. Behind the long street, small courtyard. In the early hours of the morning, Qin Wang was sitting on the couch, draining away his internal energy while waiting for the information to be updated. Information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. Yesterday you went to the Chang'an City Divine Catcher Division to deliver a letter and received information that the Jinzhou Divine Catcher Division's great divine catcher Cao Peng liked wives. He once got drunk with the Jinzhou County Lord by drinking with him. Zhang Rui, the governor of the county, took the opportunity to molest Lin Wanyan, the concubine of the county. Lin Wanyan never forgot Cao Peng from then on, and the two met many times. 2. You heard people praising King Jin's sage yesterday at the breakfast stall, and got information that Jin Gaian, the immortal master sent by Emperor Yun, has arrived in Jinzhou, waiting for an opportunity to kill King Jin. You encountered King Jin's guard, the immortal master Kai Lianxian, and each other. No matter who wins or loses. 3. You were worried that Chen Kun was chasing you yesterday, and you got information that Chen Kun and his cousin Zhou Yijian chased you and Qin Shuimei, the middle-aged couple you pretended to be, and drank to drown their sorrows in a wine shop. Zhou Chouhong, the county magistrate of Yunzhou, embraced the golden thigh of the Xian family in order to provide help in times of need, and decided to use the power of Yunzhou to contact Liangzhou. Yenzhou issued a wanted order to arrest you in the name of a murderer. 4. You were worried about Chen Kun's pursuit yesterday and obtained information that Chen Kun's uncle Zhou Chouhong had secretly defected to the King of Jin and was promised by the King of Jin to serve as a lobbyist to instigate rebellion against Liangzhou. 5. Omitted. 6. Yesterday you sent a letter to Yang Yuding, the leader of the Qinglong Club, to inform him of the murderer. After receiving the information, Yang Yuding led all the masters of the Qinglong Club to rush to Green Willow Villa. He will see 86 corpses with their brains sucked dry at Green Willow Villa. Yang Yuding will find Su Tianai in Fengyuan City in 6 days based on the information you provided. Both sides will suffer losses in the battle. 7. You paid attention to Wanwaman yesterday and received information that Liu Bihong, the steward of Wanwaman, has selected 2 suitable disciples. She is planning to wait in Yunzhou for 2 months. 8. 9. Omitted. 10. You started learning the 5 elements gathering skill yesterday and got information. Due to the thinness of the secular spiritual energy, the progress is slow. If you want to advance faster, you need to choose a sect or a spiritual place to practice quietly, or get spiritual stones to assist in practice. Refreshed, Qin Wang looked at the panel, the first information summary. Emperor Yun's immortal master Jin Guiyan has arrived in Jinzhou, and King Jin also has an immortal master Kai Lianxian. No matter who wins or loses. Qin Wang looked at the second piece of information, his eyes showing a thoughtful look. At present, he had just reached the first level of qi refining stage. He could not get involved in this kind of battle between immortal masters. He could just pay attention to it. Zhou Chouhong of Yunzhou Prefecture, in order to curry favor with someone, contacted Liangzhou and Yenzhou to issue a wanted order for me as a murderer. This fool has already surrendered to King Jin. Let me see how I will deal with you. Qin Wang saw the third and fourth pieces of information, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. If Zhou Chouhong did not provoke him, it would be fine. But in order to get close to Chen Yi of the Immortal Sect and climb up, he issued a wanted order for himself. It was too abominable. He deserved to die. 6 days later, Su Tianai will fight with Yang Yuding in Fengyuan City, and both will suffer losses. This news should be revealed to the Shahu gang, so that they can clean up the mess and see whether Su Tianai will die or not. Qin Wang took a deep breath when he saw the sixth piece of information. Su Tianai and Yang Yuding were both injured. If the Tiger gang attacked, Su Tianai would surely die. The Wanhua sect will wait in Yunzhou for another 2 months. Wait until I kill Su Tianai, then go to Yunzhou and join the Wanhua sect. Jinzhou, Jinshui City, in a luxurious villa hidden by a purple bamboo forest. A tall, square-faced middle-aged man wearing a tiger print brocade robe, with his hands behind his back, stood in a yard covered with bamboo leaves. This man was none other than Zhang Jinhu, the leader of the Shahu gang, one of the 3 major gangs in Jinzhou. At this moment, Zhang Jinhu looked at the thin old man in green clothes in front of him and asked, "Military advisor, what do you think of the information sent by this mysterious man?" Gang leader, from what I have seen, this mysterious man should have a grudge against Su Tianai. This is a great opportunity for our evil tiger gang. We can make 2 preparations and wait until both Yang Yuding and Su Tianai are injured before taking action. The opportunity is fleeting. As long as you seize it, you will be able to dominate the world of Jinzhou in just a short time. Ji Wuyuan's eyes showed a wise look. He glanced at the letter in his hand and suddenly felt a sense of déjà vu. Good. Just follow what the military advisor said. Zhang Jinhu's eyes burst into light, and the powerful aura spread out from his body. This military advisor, Ji Wuyuan, was originally a master in Yanyan County, Yuzhou. However, some time ago, a civil uprising occurred in Yanyan County, and the county magistrate Chen Hao was executed by the rebels. Ji Wuyuan relied on his wit to escape to Jinzhou and defected here. Using a brilliant plan to help himself, Qinglongwei suffered 3 big losses in a row and gained a lot. As if he had found a treasure, he became a military advisor. Okay, first gather the manpower, divide into 2 groups and secretly go to Fengyuan City to wait. At the same time, the fire oil guards and poison guards are lurking, waiting for them to lose both sides and destroy them with one force. Ji Wuyuan spoke in a deep voice. Come here, summon the altar masters to come here to see me. Zhang Jinhu spoke in a deep voice. Jinzhou, county government. A middle-aged man with an elegant figure looked at the majestic middle-aged man in brocade clothes in front of him with an embroidered spring knife hanging on his waist, and said in a deep voice. Brother Cao, someone sent 5 letters yesterday, saying that Su Tianai, the leader of the voodoo sect, practiced voodoo kung fu and became a demon. On the night of the full moon, his madness could be relieved by sucking human brain marrow. There were more than 80 quilts in Luliu Villa in Qiyang County. The innocent corpses he mutilated are of great significance, please take someone to see them. There have indeed been too many people missing unexpectedly in Jinzhou recently, and the investigation by the detective division has also pointed to Qiyang County. This mysterious man sent 5 letters and gave the exact location, Green Willow Villa. Zhang Rui knew in his heart that Jinzhou was the fiefdom of King Jin, and King Jin was now at the height of his power. If this matter was not resolved in advance, it would be bad if it caused public resentment. Once the King of Jin is blamed, he may no longer be able to wear his official hat. Brother Zhang, don't worry. I'll go there in person. The voodoo gang is doing evil and there is really no need to exist anymore. Cao Peng patted his chest, nodded, clasped his fists at Zhang Rui, and turned to leave. Time flies. Jincheng is the county seat of Jinzhou and the seat of the prince of Jin's palace. 50 miles away from Jincheng, Qingxi town. Qin Wang. Lifespan. 1875. Realm. Qi refining stage 1, 258 1/1000. Qin Wang was sitting in a courtyard room with 3 large tile-roofed houses, looking at the panel in front of him. Finally, all my inner strength has been refined and turned into magic power. However, we still have to work hard. Currently, the mana at the first level of the Qi refining stage is too little. Qin Wang looked at the panel, stretched out his hand, and performed the 5 elements gathering technique. He saw a mass of red air appearing on his palm, flowing through his entire palm, like a flame wrapping around his palm, exuding the smell of terror. He refined all of his second-rate middle-level cultivation with the 5 elements gathering skill. At the same time, he consumed 10 spiritual stones. In the end, his cultivation level proficiency reached 258 points. He did the math. After absorbing a spiritual stone, it can increase the cultivation proficiency by 20 points, and the other 58 points are obtained by refining and purifying the second-rate middle-level cultivation. In other words, if I want to upgrade to the second level of the Qi refining stage, I will need about 37 spiritual stones. Qin Wang thought about it and thought to himself, try the magical power of the first level of Qi refining stage. Qin Wang held the fright knife in hand, came to the yard, found a large blue stone, and used his magic power. The red magic power surrounded the long knife, making the fright knife look like a black and red treasure, and it made a clanging sound. Poof! The shocking knife cuts down. There was only a soft sound, and with the blessing of red mana, the shocking knife cut through the big blue stone like a red horse and cut into the mud like tofu. Cool. Qin Wang looked at the masterpiece of his sword with a look of satisfaction in his eyes. If there is no magical power, this knife can also cut through the big blue stone, but the big blue stone will fall into pieces. Qin Wang felt confident, so he went back to his room, sat down, held the spirit stone, and continued to practice, hoping to advance to the second level of the Qi refining stage as soon as possible. Fengyuan City. To the east of the city, there is a manor with white walls, yellow tiles, and landscape trees. Yang Yuding, you provoke me again and again. Do you think I am afraid of you? Su Tianai, who had white beard and white hair, stood on the roof, looking at Yang Yuding, who was like an angry lion outside the villa. His expression was extremely gloomy and his white hair was dancing. Today, he was asking the sniffing spirit Gu to track the location of the person who took away the 3-corpse Gu King jar. Yang Yuding led people to kill him and fight for him. He remembered that he went to Panli Lake to look for the sniffing spirit Gu, but he went crazy early. He immediately grabbed 3 people on a boat and sucked it. Later, he learned that the person who sucked it was actually the youngest son of Yang Yuding of the Qinglong society. He felt troubled. Su Tianai fled on the spot while no one was watching. Unexpectedly, Yang Yuding tracked down Green Willow Villa and found 86 corpses in the basement, making his story of sucking people's brains known to everyone, putting him in a disadvantageous situation. After all, Yang Yuding's strength is half-step innate in martial arts. He didn't want to fight Yang Yuding without advancing to a true martial arts talent. One more. Through the peeping Gu, he discovered that there were innate martial arts masters from the Divine Catcher division outside the village. It was probably the brain-sucking thing that attracted the attention of the Divine Catcher division. He didn't even dare to fight Yang Yuding. If he was injured, he would probably be dead. At this moment, Su Tianai was anxious and thinking hard about how to escape. Old beast, kill my son. If I don't skin you and cramp you today, my surname will not be Yang. Yang Yuding gave a sharp shout, and like a crazy lion, his long sword fired out a sword energy that was more than 10 feet long, and like a horse, it came towards Su Tianai. Yang Yuding, you are seeking death. I will help you. Su Tianai's expression changed, and with a wave of his hand, a cloud of gray mist poured out, covering a 3-foot radius. Next moment, Su Tianai backed up, crawled into the villa, and disappeared instantly. Yang Yuding did not expect that Su Tianai ran away with loud thunder and small raindrops, and immediately chased him into the villa. Thousands of feet away from the villa, in a forest. Ji Wuyuan, who had a slim figure and wise eyes, frowned and said as he looked at Su Tianai, who had disappeared into the villa. Gang leader, Su Tianai is too cunning. He doesn't want to fight Yang Yuding and went into the tunnel. We can only act according to the situation. Zhang Jinhu nodded. Fengyuan City, inside the villa. The figure of Su Tianai with white beard and white hair flashed and came to the back hall. He walked to a corner and pressed on the wall. Suddenly, there was a crunching sound, the wall shrank, and stone steps descending step by step appeared. Facing the front is a long corridor that is 1 foot wide. The ground is paved with bluestone slabs. The walls on both sides were inlaid with luminous pearls, illuminating the basement as bright as day. Su Tianai's figure flashed and he jumped down the steps. There was a crunching sound behind him, and the entrance was closed. Su Tianai walked along the corridor to the end and came to a mahogany door. He knelt down respectfully and said loudly. The villain Su Tianai bows to the Immortal and begs the Immortal to take action. As Su Tianai spoke, the door slowly opened, revealing the scene inside. A hall with a radius of 10 feet has 9 stone pillars carved with dragons. Sitting cross-legged among them is an old man in black who is about 50 years old and has a gold spot on the left side of his face. He exudes a mysterious aura. In front of him was a 5-foot stone platform, with a 3-foot-long Mitsubishi thorn on it that was covered in crystal-clear blood, exuding a sharp edge. You didn't find the 3-corpse Gu King Jar, and yet you attracted so many martial arts geniuses. Causing me trouble. The old man in black, Jin Shifeng, had a gloomy look and a bad tone. The Immortal, the 3-corpse Gu King Jar has been revealed, but I don't know who told Yang Yuding about the villain sucking brain marrow, which attracted experts from the Evil Tiger Gang, the Divine Catcher Division and other parties to ask the Immortal to take care of the villain. For the sake of doing your best, help. Quote. Su Tianai knelt in front of the old man Qinban and kowtowed. The Immortal Masters sent by Emperor Yun and the Immortal Masters invited by King Jin are all in Jinzhou. My blood spirit stab is almost successful. I will attract them and waste all my previous efforts. For your hard work, I will give you a wind talisman. You should leave here first. Jin Shifeng waved out a khaki-colored talisman with a wind-shaped symbol painted on it and flew out and landed on Su Tianai. Suddenly, Su Tianai's white hair was dancing in the wind. Thank you, Immortal. Su Tianai also knew the seriousness of the matter and immediately turned around and left the basement. I hope you can lure them away. The blood spirit thorn is about to succeed. Don't make any mistakes. Jin Shifeng watched the mechanism in the basement close with anticipation in his eyes. If his injuries were fully recovered, he would not be afraid of Emperor Yun and King Jin's Immortal Masters, but for now, it was better to avoid them for now. Qingxi Town. Early in the morning, Qin Wang was sitting in the small courtyard, silently practicing the 5 elements gathering skill. Information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. You paid attention to Su Tianai yesterday and obtained information. The monk Jin Shifeng was seriously injured in a battle with others. He hid in the secular world to recover. He first taught Su Tianai the method of absorbing human essence, blood and brain marrow, and then absorbed Su Tianai's essence to heal his injuries, causing Su Tianai to suffer from 4 diseases. His hair turned gray when he was more than 10 years old. In order to advance to the level of martial arts genius, Su Tianai would not hesitate to turn gray hair. 2. You paid attention to Su Tianai yesterday and obtained information. Su Tianai was sought revenge by Yang Yuding in Fengyuan City. Because he discovered the Divine Catcher and was surrounded by the Evil Tiger Gang, he sought help from Jin Shifeng, the monk behind the scenes, and escaped from the villa. He was killed by the Divine Catcher. Cao Peng was seriously injured and lost an arm. He was chased by Yang Yuding and was hit by Mo Yun's hand. He fled to Yunzhou, with Yang Yuding and the Chief Catcher in hot pursuit. 3. You paid attention to Su Tianai yesterday and got information. Jin Shifeng, the master behind Su Tianai, refined a blood spirit thorn. This thing was sacrificed with the blood of the demon toad. It is extremely powerful. It is below the 5th level of chi refining period. The monk will definitely die if he is stabbed, and there is only one last step left. 4. You paid attention to Su Tianai yesterday and obtained information. Su Tianai's voodoo gang was destroyed by the Qinglong Society and the Evil Tiger Gang, which attracted Kai Lianxian. Jin Shifeng, the master behind Su Tianai, was seriously injured by Kai Lianxian and fled in panic. Shang Yunzhou. 5. You paid attention to the situation in Dakang yesterday and obtained information. Kang Yuyan, the daughter of Emperor Dakang Yun, was accepted into the Wanhua sect because of her good spiritual roots. Emperor Dakang Yun will grant amnesty to the world and declare a great destiny on this day. 6. You paid attention to Wanhua sect yesterday and got information. Liu Bihong, the Yunzhou steward of Wanhua sect, was worried because she did not receive a disciple with particularly outstanding spiritual roots. 7. You followed Wanhua sect yesterday and got information that Wanhua sect elder Su Qianyan entered the cave where the casual cultivator Ma Yu had retreated 300 years ago in Tianyao Mountain yesterday and gained a lot. 8. You followed Wanhua sect yesterday and got information that Wanhua sect manager Liu Bihong learned that the elders of the sect received Kang Yuyan, who has a good spiritual root, and she was envious. 9. You followed Chen Kun's news yesterday and got information that Chen Kun and Zhou Yijian have come to Jinzhou to track down your whereabouts and vowed to cut you into pieces. 10. You followed Chen Kun's news yesterday and got information that Chen Kun often took out the 2 spiritual light cover talismans he carried to observe, looking forward to the early return of his youngest son Chen Yi. No wonder Su Tianai has white hair, it turns out that the cultivator behind him sucked his energy. With Yang Yuding and the people from the Divine Capture Division chasing him, Su Tianai can't survive. Qin Wang looked at the first and second pieces of information, his eyes were full of satisfaction, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, Su Tianai was solved. The next step is to go to Wanwaman. Blood Spirit Thorn. Jin Shifeng, the immortal master behind Su Tianai, was seriously injured by Kai Lianxian and fled to Yunzhou in panic. Qin Wang looked at the third and fourth pieces of information and shook his head. Jin Shifeng is an immortal master. Even if he is seriously injured, he is only at the first level of qi refining stage and is not someone he can covet. He should go to Yunzhou Wanwaman safely. Kang Yuyan, the daughter of Emperor Dakangyan, accepted by the Wanhua sect. Amnesty for the world. Looking at the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th pieces of information, his eyes looked thoughtful. If he joins the 10,000 Flowers sect, he might be in the same sect in the future. Chen Kun's 2 spiritual light shields, are you reluctant to use them? When my strength reaches the 2nd level of the qi refining stage, these 2 spiritual light shields will be mine. Qin Wang looked at the 10th piece of information and thought to himself. Early tomorrow morning, set off for Yunzhou. After reading the information, Qin Wang took a deep breath and lay down with his clothes on. 5 days later, Jinzhou border, Yulin City, a drunken building in a small town. Qin Wang and his sister Qin Shuimei disguised themselves as a dark-skinned young couple. They sat by the window and ran all the way until they could finally eat something good. The 2 ordered a plate of stir-fried dried fragrant rice, roast chicken, scrambled eggs, braised pork, and a 3 fresh soup. Wangzi, eat more. Qin Shuimei kept picking up food for Qin Wang. The same as you. Qin Wang also picked up vegetables for his sister. She was also very thin, with shoulders almost as sharp as knives, and she also needed more nutrition. Along the way, she never complained about hardship, and her perseverance was indeed tenacious. Have you heard? Yesterday, the county government added 2 new wanted criminals. It seems that they are a pair of siblings named Qin Shuimei and Qin Wang. They are said to be good at using poison. They killed more than 100 people in a county town called Yanheian in Yuzhou. People are simply vicious. It's hard to survive these days. There are so many wanted criminals like this. Is it any wonder? Brother, you didn't hear me finish. These 2 wanted criminals are not ordinary. I heard that Mr. Mu Zhou of Yunzhou issued a wanted order and offered a huge reward of 100 taels of silver for any information on the arrest of these siblings. Capture one of the most important criminals. Rewards of 500 taels. What? A heavy reward of 100 taels for providing information about the arrest. If I know where these siblings are, it will be enough for me in my lifetime. Yes, I heard that many people in the world are looking for these siblings. Just as the 2 were making concessions, suddenly, the voices of the diners at the next table came to their ears. Qin Wang and his sister looked at each other and frowned. Neither of them spoke, just immersed in eating. 2/4 of an hour later, Qin Wang and his sister took the package and left. Wangzi, How come we are wanted by Yunzhou for a heavy reward? Are you still offering a reward of 500 taels? Qin Shuimei's beautiful eyes showed doubts. My younger brother destroyed the Chen family in Yanyan County. It makes sense to be wanted in Yuzhou, but why Yunzhou? Sister, if I guessed correctly, it should be because of the Chen family. As far as I know, Chen Kun's uncle is Yunzhou Mu named Zhou Chohong. Because Chen Kun's youngest son Chen Yi entered the Immortal sect, Zhou Chohong did this to get hold of him in advance. We are wanted to show Chen Kun. Zhou Chohong, this old guy, I think he thinks he has a long life. Qin Wang clenched his fists, his eyes turned cold, and he whispered. Now that Yunzhou is wanted, you have to be careful on the way to Yunzhou. Originally, he was planning to wait until he entered the Wanhua Gate and then deal with Zhou Chohong when he had time. Now, while heading to Yunzhou, he had to pay attention to the news about Zhou Chohong and use the intelligence to kill him. Yunzhou State Mansion. An old man of about 50 years old, with a medium build, wearing a black gauze hat and a belted brocade robe, stood in the study with his hands behind his back, looking at the sky in the distance with a worried look on his face. Master, are you worried about Yijian? At this moment, a graceful woman in yellow clothes, about 30 years old, came behind the old man and asked softly. Yes, I heard that the Qin family siblings are good at a kind of poison that dissipates power. It was with this poison that they wiped out more than 100 people in the Chen family. On the one hand, I want to practice with a sword, but on the other hand, I am worried about his lack of experience. The resentment on Zhou Chohong's face became even more intense when he thought of the Qin siblings who had wiped out all the more than 100 members of his sister's family. This time, using Yunzhou Mu's identity to reward the wanted Qin siblings, he came to avenge his sister. Secondly, I have formed a good relationship with my cousin Chen Yi. In the future, my great-nephew Chen Yi will return from Shuxian, and if he sprinkles water on it, it will be enough for the Zhou family to benefit from for 100 years. Recent. The daughter of Emperor Dekenyan was accepted as a disciple by Wanwaman, which made him jealous of King Jin who secretly took refuge in her. Master, don't worry, aren't there 2 first-class guards beside Yi Jian? They have enough experience to ensure that nothing happens. The woman in yellow comforted her. Yeah, that's true. Zhou Chohong nodded. The next day, Yulin City. In the early morning, Qin Wang was eating breakfast, looking at the 3 useful pieces of information on the panel, and fell into deep thought. 3. You paid attention to Wanwaman yesterday and got information. Wanwaman's exercises are only suitable for female cultivators. It is a purely female cultivator sect with iron rules. It only recruits female disciples and does not accept male disciples. 4. You paid attention to Su Tianai yesterday and obtained information that Jin Shifeng, the immortal master behind Su Tianai, has arrived in Chong County, Yunzhou. He has given up on Su Tianai and plans to find the 3-corpse Gu King Jar and find a puppet to help him recover from his injuries. 10. You paid attention to Su Tianai yesterday and obtained information. Su Tianai was being hunted by Yang Yuding and the chief inspector. He will be hiding on a hill at the 15-mile intersection outside Yulin City this morning. He is dying from his injuries. Shoot. In a secret treasure house in Jinzhou that only Su Tianai knew about, there was a piece of spiritual material used by the Golden Pill monks to refine magic weapons. The 10,000 flowers cultivation technique is suitable for women to practice. Is it a purely female sect? It seems that my plan has to be changed. Qin Wang looked at the 3rd piece of information and thought to himself that he didn't expect it. Original. He was also planning to join the 10,000 flowers sect with his sister. Now it seemed that after sending his sister to the 10,000 flowers sect, he would have to go to Shouten Mountain according to his original plan. The exercises are only suitable for women, and it is not suitable for a man to enter. Jin Shifeng is in Chong County, Yunzhou. Are you ready to retrieve the 3-corpse Gu King Jar? Qin Wang looked at the 4th piece of information with a thoughtful look on his face. Fortunately, Wanhua sect was recruiting disciples in Longjing City, Yunzhou, which was in the opposite direction from Chong County. But, this Jin Shifeng is an immortal cultivator. Even though he was seriously injured by Kai Lianxian, he is still not something he can compete with now. He must be careful. Su Tianai is about to die. It looks like he needs some help. Qin Wang looked at the 10th piece of information and felt something in his heart. Su Tianai is about to die, which is a good thing. However, the intelligence also reminds that Su Tianai has a piece of spiritual material used by the Golden Elixir monks to refine magic weapons in his treasure house in Jinzhou. The spiritual materials of the Golden Elixir monks are of great value. Because the information did not show the detailed location of the treasure house. Therefore, after Qin Wang prepared to leave the city, he passed by the intersection to help Su Tianai and make contact so that the intelligence panel could generate information about the treasure house tonight. What? The Wanwaman technique is only suitable for women. Only female disciples are recruited. Then what should I do with Wang's eye? Hearing Qin Wang's words, Qin Shuimei was stunned. She was planning to join Wanwaman to cultivate immortality with Wangzi. Sister, this is a martial art that is only suitable for women. There is no other way. I have thought about it. After I send you into the Wanhua Gate, I will go to Shaodan Mountain. Besides, I have the skill and can't enter the 10,000 Flower Gate. It's not just practice as usual. Qin Wang kept comforting Qin Shuimei. Oh well, after some persuasion from Qin Wang, Qin Shuimei finally accepted Qin Wang's trip to Shaodan Mountain, but she seemed unhappy. Morning, 15 miles outside Yulin City. According to intelligence, Su Tianai should be nearby. Qin Wang asked his sister to wait 100 feet away, and he came to the intersection. He found that there was a hill on the left side of the intersection. The hill was covered with dense thatch that was 10 feet high, and Su Tianai was nowhere to be found. Yeah, there's blood. Suddenly, Qin Wang saw a little blood stain on the ground about a foot away in front of him. He immediately stepped forward and followed the blood trail towards the hill. He found that there were signs of separation of the thatch on the hill. 3 feet deep in the thatch, there was a man with white beard and white hair and a pale face, old man, lying in the thatch. It was faintly visible that his left arm was broken at shoulder level and covered in blood. When Qin Wang saw the old man also saw Qin Wang, and he suddenly looked shocked. When he saw that it was a young man in his 20s, he immediately struggled to sit up and said intermittently, "My little friend, I encountered a bad guy. Can you save me?" Su Tianai. Qin Wang looked at the old man with a broken arm and shouted, "You." When Su Tianai saw Qin Wang shouting his name, his expression suddenly froze, with despair in his eyes. The people in front of me knew his name. Either the Divine Catcher, or someone from the Blue Dragon Club. Dead end. Su Tianai, aren't you chasing me for the 3-corpse Gu King jar? So, I told Yang Yuding and the chief inspector that you sucked people's brains. Now, I'm here to see you off for the last time. Qin Wang chuckled, took out the fire stick, and lit the dry thatch. Su Tianai was lying in the dry thatch. It would be best to burn him to death with a fire. Qin Wang didn't dare to get close. Su Tianai was covered in poison. It's you, PFF'd. Hearing Qin Wang's words, Su Tianai's eyes suddenly widened. He did not expect that the young man in front of him was the murderer who killed the young disciple Lin Tong and took away the 3-corpse Gu King jar. And, I was brought to seek revenge by Yang Yuding, and was hunted down by the God's Catcher, all because of this man. Gangster. Su Tianai was so angry that his chest rose and fell rapidly, but the fire instantly rose and drowned out his voice. A scream came out. Su Tianai screamed for a quarter of an hour as he was being burned, and finally stopped. Su Tianai is dead, let's go to Yunzhou first. Qin Wang looked at the flames soaring into the sky behind him, then turned and walked towards his sister 100 feet away. As for Su Tianai's treasure house, he can only get it after he sends his sister to join the Wanhua clan. Information shows that it is a secret treasure house that only Su Tianai knows about, so he is not afraid of being taken away. Time flies. 18 days later, Yingxian Terrace outside Longjing City. The square with a radius of 10 miles is paved with bluestone slabs. On the high stone platform, there are 3 big characters of Yingxiantai, with dancing dragons and phoenixes. On one side of the Yingxiantai square, there are rows of magnificent halls. This is where Wanhua sect selects disciples with spiritual roots every year. At this time, in front of the Immortal introduction platform, there were thousands of girls queuing up in a long queue. A plump woman in palace attire wearing a white dress and a fairy-like temperament was sitting on the Immortal platform. 5 female disciples with peony patterns embroidered on their clothes were standing behind a black wooden desk. On the desk, there was a round stone as big as a millstone, as crystal clear as jade. In the middle of the stone, there is a palm print. One after another, the girls stepped forward in turn, placing their hands expectantly in the palm print of the stone as big as a millstone. God bless me, let me have spiritual roots and ascend to Sendai. I heard that if you stretch your hand up and the spiritual detection platform lights up, it means you have spiritual roots. The brighter the light, the better the spiritual roots. People with spiritual roots are so rare that only 7 of them have been admitted so far. The best spiritual roots are Princess Kang Yuyan and the dual spiritual roots of wood and fire. Qin Wang and his sister Qin Shuimei stood in line in the crowd. They did not change their faces. They just darkened their skin and put on hats. Qin Wang had considered it. Once his sister was accepted by the Wanhua sect, it would definitely not work to use a pseudonym. A famous girl stepped forward to test. 99% of people have no spiritual roots, and there is no response when they put their hands on them. They all come here in excitement and leave disappointed. Time flies. In a blink of an eye, it was Qin Shuimei's turn. Sister, it's your turn. Qin Wang pushed his sister. Qin Shuimei nodded to Qin Wang, walked forward, stretched out her hand, and pressed it on the stone platform as big as a millstone. Buzz. The moment Qin Shuimei's hand pressed the palm print on the stone platform, the millstone suddenly vibrated, and a flash of blue light shot up into the sky. It's 10 feet high. Oh my God, such a strong light. What kind of spiritual root is this? Single spiritual root. The light aroused by Qin Shuimei immediately caused an exclamation in the Yingxiantai square. The shock was inexplicable and there was a lot of discussion. What? Wood-type Tianling root. Liu Bihong, the steward who was sitting on the Immortal platform, suddenly stood up when she saw this green light, and suddenly appeared next to Qin Shuimei, with a look of surprise in her eyes. She grabbed her hand, took her aside, and asked in a low voice. Girl, what's your name? Are you willing to join my Wanhua sect? Senior, my name is Qin Shuimei, and I am willing to join Wanhua sect. Qin Shuimei nodded respectfully. Okay, great. Liu Bihong looked at Qin Shuimei's eyes with excitement and satisfaction and said. Shuimei, come with me. Liu Bihong was in a very good mood because she had recruited a Tianlingen disciple. After taking Qin Shuimei into the hall and recording it in the book, he decided to end the recruitment of disciples early and return to Wanhua Gate to report the good news. Wangzi. In the main hall behind Yingxian Square, Qin Shuimei looked at Qin Wang and hesitated to speak. Sister, you should practice well at Wanhuamen. Don't worry about me. I will go to Shaodan Mountain then. There is a Shushanfang city under the jurisdiction of Lingyao Mountain. In the future, you and I can still meet. Qin Wang looked at his sister whose beautiful eyes were full of sorrow and comforted her. Qin Wang secretly made up his mind. Next, there will be revenge. Zhou Chouhong, Chen Kun, Zheng Lingyun, none of them can be missing. Okay, Wangzi, let's make an agreement that we will fly into the sky with our swords together then. Sister, I saw that Master Liu can fly into the sky with a sword. Hearing Qin Wang's comfort, Qin Shuimei nodded and said. Well, it's a deal. Qin Wang nodded. I have a proficiency panel, as well as information, and the immortal cultivation technique and the 5 elements gathering technique. Going to Shaodan Mountain is the same practice. After one day, Yingxian Terrace, in a side hall. Wangzi, this is my farewell. I don't know when we will see each other again. The world is dangerous, so you must take care of yourself. Don't be brave in everything, it's important to save your life. Do you know? Qin Shuimei gently adjusted Qin Wang's clothes and smoothed out the wrinkles on his clothes, saying with deep reluctance in her beautiful eyes. Sister, the same goes for you. Qin Wang nodded. Along the way, the siblings embarked on the path to immortality, which was not easy. Right now, outside, above the Immortal platform, a green flying boat with a length of more than 30 feet appeared. The flying boat was majestic, full of restrictions, and surrounded by lavender light. This was the purple electric flying boat of the 10,000 Flowers Gate. Wangzi, I'm leaving, take care. Qin Shuimei hugged Qin Wang reluctantly, turned around and waved, heading towards the flying boat. Take care of yourself. Qin Wang stood in front of the flying boat and waved to his sister. The flying boat soared into the sky, turned into a purple light, and was swept into the clouds. Qin Wang saw that his sister's eyes were red and tears were falling. Qin Wang said goodbye to his sister Qin Shuimei, and immediately turned around and hid in Longjing City. East of the city, in a triple blue brick house, Qin Wang closed the door and sat on the bed, cleaning up his belongings and deciding what to do next. The exercises include 5 elements gathering skills. Weapons include the shocking knife and the heavy rain pear blossom needle. The treasures include a soul gathering bowl, a treasure bowl, a 5-element divine light jar, yellow jade pieces, mysterious fragments, an ancient sheepskin scroll from Zhonghen Yunxi, a green and quiet sword from Mrs. Chen, and the remaining 12 pieces of souls, stone, and a storage bag obtained from Master Qing Yao. You still have to practice hard to reach the 4th level of Qi refining stage and open the storage bag. With so many things, it's really inconvenient to carry a big package. Qin Wang looked at his package and thought to himself. At the same time, Qin Wang was looking forward to Master Qing Yao's storage bag. Zhou Chouhong, you wanted me for licking Chen Yi's stinky feet. Do you still want the Zhou family to prosper for 100 years? Ha ha, it will only make your Zhou family perish faster. Qin Wang thought about the portraits of himself and his sister posted everywhere at the entrance to Yunzhou City recently, and he clenched his fists involuntarily. Thinking of this, Qin Wang took out 2 crystal spirit stones, sat down cross-legged, and practiced silently, striving to be promoted to the 2nd level of the Qi refining stage as soon as possible. Along the way to the Yingxian platform, Qin Wang absorbed spiritual stones intermittently on the way, and the progress of the 1st level of Qi refining stage reached 818 points, and the mana in his dantian became stronger and stronger. Yunzhou, Chishui County, 30 miles away, in the woods. On a white stone about 10 feet in size with a slight moss on the edge. An old man in black, about 50 years old, with a money spot on the left side of his face, sat cross-legged. His breath was sluggish and his face was extremely pale. He looked in the direction of Jinzhou, with depression and fear in his eyes. Su Tianai, the 3 quartz Gu King jars were given to him for temporary use, but he actually lost them. It's useless. If it fails to succeed, it will fail. Ahem, ahem. Jin Shifeng coughed several times, and blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, feeling extremely depressed. Su Tianai sucked the brain marrow and exploded, attracting Shen Catcher and Yang Yuding. In the end, the movement was too big and attracted Kai Lianxian in Jinzhou to check. It turned out that the Demon Slayer alliance he backed was the same as Yi Dan, who was behind Kai Lianxian. Will not deal with it. When the enemies met, they were extremely jealous. After finally recovering some of his injuries, he collapsed again. If it weren't for the high cost of escaping, this time I would really have to deal with it in the secular world. We have to recover some injuries first, and then go find the sniffing spirit Gu and the 3 quartz Gu King jars. Jin Shifeng sighed helplessly. He was too seriously injured and had to recover. The best way to absorb people's essence is to use the 3 quartz Gu King jar. However, his internal organs were displaced and his mana was exhausted. He was unable to move. He was hiding underground in the voodoo gang. He could only use Su Tianai's fake hand to collect the 3 quartz Gu King jar essence, and then bring it back to heal his injuries. He had no choice but to hand over the sniffing spirit Gu and 3 quartz Gu King jars to Su Tianai for temporary use. Another reason is that he has magic marks on these 2 things, and Su Tianai also has the poison he planted, so he is not afraid of Su Tianai running away. Even if it is lost, you can be sure to find it back. Yunzhou, Yuntian Mansion is adjacent to Longjing City. It is the county seat of Yunzhou. In the mansion, an old man of about 50 years old, with a medium build, wearing a black gauze hat and a belted brocade robe, asked with his hands behind his back, looking at the handsome young man in front of him with surprise in his eyes. Yidao, I mean, is it possible that the Qin family siblings came to our Yunzhou? Yes, Dad. After Yun Tingwei's tracking and comparison, there were 44 couples who met the characteristics of mobility recently. 43 of them were caught and the suspicion was ruled out. The remaining couple was missing in Longjing City. It should be that he changed his identity in disguise. Currently, the boy has sent a special agent to investigate with all his strength. Zhou Yidao said respectfully to his father Zhou Chouhong. Zhou Yidao was very angry about his aunt's death. When he was a child, his aunt was very kind to him. As the deputy commander of the Yunting Guard, he vowed to catch the siblings and torture them to death. Revenge for my aunt. Yidao, my father thinks that while arresting the Qin family siblings, we can also start with their relatives, neighbors, and people with whom they have good relationships. This time, it is our Zhou family's opportunity to help your cousin's family catch the murderer. Once your cousin Chen Yi comes back, you can sprinkle water as much as you like, and it will be enough for our Zhou family to prosper for 100 years. When an immortal comes to Earth, even your majesty must be polite and respectful. Zhou Qiuhong looked at his eldest son with a thoughtful look in his eyes and said, Dad, I'm preparing to tell you about this. My child has already investigated. The Qin siblings have a good relationship with Li Yunhai, a fisherman next door to his house in Qingnuji. Also, Qin Wang once worked as a medicine boy for a few days in Baikeotang, Qingnuji, Yanyan County. It is said that the fisherman, when the boss Zhang Kecheng was arrested for the arson case, Bai Mingliang, the doctor of Baikeotang, vouched for him, which shows that he has a good relationship. Quote, other than that, there is no other close relationship with anyone. My child is going to arrest the Li Yunhai family and Bai Mingliang's ancestors and grandsons. Then they will be executed in front of the Qin family siblings. This is a great opportunity for our Zhou family. If we want my cousin's family to express their gratitude, we must be ruthless, cut through the mess quickly, and cut the Qin family siblings into pieces as soon as possible. A flash of cruelty flashed in Zhou Yida's eyes, and he raised his right hand like a sword to make a false move. Well, one knife, that's how it should be. If you are not ruthless, you cannot stand firm. The opportunity is fleeting. Just go ahead and do it. Dad will support you in everything. Zhou Qiuhong nodded to his eldest son with approval in his eyes. Yes, Zhou Yidao respectfully agreed and turned around. Yunzhou, Luyang City, Zuishanxiang Restaurant, 2nd floor. 4 figures with powerful auras sat near the window. Don't worry, cousin, my father has heavily rewarded Qin Wang, Qin Shuimei, and anyone who provides information for those wanted throughout Yunzhou. There are also many gangsters who have gone out to look for them. It's hard for those siblings to escape. Now that we know they are coming to Yunzhou, I believe it won't take long to catch them. Zhou Yijian looked at his depressed cousin Chen Kun and comforted him. That pair of siblings killed more than 100 members of my family. Their hatred is irresistible. I can't suppress it. After I catch them, I will stand in front of them. I will arrest the neighbors, relatives, and people who are close to them. I will arrest them all and torture them one by one to death before I can satisfy my hatred. Let them taste what it feels like to lose a loved one. Chen Kun raised his neck and took a sip of wine and said with a malicious look. My cousin is right. After catching them, they will be skinned and cramped, their fingers will be nailed with bamboo sticks, and they will be tortured to death. Zhou Yijian nodded, expressing deep agreement. Longjing City. East of the city, in the room on the left side of a 3-tile roofed house. Early in the morning. Information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. You heard people praising Yunzhou Zhou Qiuhong yesterday at the Yunlai Tea House for his honesty. You got information about Yunzhou Zhou Qiuhong. The love scene was as short as 3 breaths. He was secretly despised by his wives and concubines. His favorite concubine is Huang Yinghe. His eldest son Zhou Yidao has had an affair for many years, and his youngest son Zhou Yifei is actually his grandson. 2. Yesterday you heard people praising Yunzhou Zhou Qiuhong's integrity at the Yunlai Tea House, and got information that Yunzhou Zhou Qiuhong decided to send his secret guard Yuntingwei to kill your neighbor Li Yunhai in order to show his goodwill to Shanman Chen Yi. The whole family, as well as Dr. Bai's descendants of Baikeotang, were arrested. After catching you, they were tortured to death in front of you. 3. You wanted to find out the secret of the Qingyu little sword that you got from Mrs. Chen yesterday. After receiving the information, Chen Kun has come to Yunzhou with Zhou Yijian. Chen Kun hates you for being crazy and drinking every day. He decided to catch you. After that, you go back and arrest your neighbor Li Yunhai and your friend Bai Mingliang and torture them to death in front of you, so that you can relieve your hatred. 4. You observed the 3-corpse Gu King jar yesterday and obtained information that the 3-corpse Gu King jar belonged to Immortal Master Jin Shifeng and was lost by Su Tianai. Jin Shifeng was very angry and was preparing to wait for his injuries to recover in order to sniff the spirit. GU, induction is retrieved. 5. You practiced the 5 elements gathering skill yesterday and obtained information. After absorbing the remaining 12 spiritual stones on your body, you will advance to the second level of the Qi refining stage. 6. You went to Yingxian Terrace yesterday and obtained information. Liu Bihong accepted a disciple of Tianlingen. He knew the importance of a tree as beautiful as the forest wind will destroy it, so he did not disclose Qin Shuimei's name to the public, and told the 5 disciples kept it secret, ended their recruitment early, and returned to Wanwaman to announce the good news. 7. Yesterday you watched your sister Qin Shuimei go to Wanhua sect and obtained information that Mu Chenshui, the head of Wanhua sect, will accept Qin Shuimei as a direct disciple in 7 days. In order to prevent the Ba Dao sect and the spiritual medicine sect from being jealous, Mu Chenshui, the acceptance of Qin Shuimei was kept secret, and only a few elders of Wanhua sect knew about it. 8. You wore the mysterious fragment on your chest yesterday and got information. The mysterious fragment closest to you will be auctioned at Tianbao Pavilion in Qingyan Ferry City today, but it failed in the auction. 9. You used the treasure bowl to purify the qi and blood pill yesterday and obtained information. The treasure bowl was cursed due to the spirit of the weapon and lost 99% of its power. If you want the treasure bowl to recover, you need to resolve the curse. 10. Yesterday, you checked Master Qingyao's preliminary solution to the elixir and obtained information. The entrance to Shaodan Mountain, where Master Qingyao has stayed for decades, is at the Shangbazui of the Yunwu Mountains. It is shrouded in formations and has a special. It is guarded by low-level monks. To enter, one needs to be at least innate in martial arts or have entered the first level of Qi refining stage. Well done to you, Zhou Chouhong. We are not a family, we don't enter the same house. They are all so vicious. Qin Wang looked at the first, second, and third pieces of information, his eyes suddenly sharpened, and murderous intent surged. He didn't expect that Zhou Chouhong's family, as well as Chen Kun, would actually want to attack his neighbors Li Yunhai, Dr. Bai, and Bai Fengwan. This is simply too vicious. Li Yunhai once gave Qin Wang a bag of brown rice and fish when he was in trouble. In such difficult times, people who help him are indeed valuable. Bai Mingliang was even willing to guarantee Qin Wang when he was wrongly accused by Zheng Kecheng. This is a great kindness. If they were killed because of his involvement, Qin Wang would never be able to get over this hurdle in his life. The Zhou family must be dealt with as soon as possible. Will Jin Shifeng come to look for the 3-quartz Gu King jar? Refining the remaining spiritual stones on my body, I can advance to the second level of the Qi refining stage. After reading the 4th and 5th pieces of information, Qin Wang felt a sense of urgency. Jin Shifeng's cultivation level was at least the 4th level of the Qi refining stage. He would have to retrieve the 3-quartz Gu King jar when the time came. He must and tried his best to improve his cultivation level and arrive as soon as possible. The middle of the Qi refining period. Only then can we fight. My sister was accepted by Mu Chenshui, the head of the Wanhua sect, as a direct descendant. In order to prevent other immortal sects from being jealous, she kept it a secret. My sister is safe, and I feel relieved. Qin Wang looked at the 6th and 7th pieces of information and nodded secretly. The entrance to Shaodan Mountain, the Yunwu Mountains, and the Elephant Trunk Mouth. After destroying Chen Kun and the Zhou family, you can head to Shaodan Mountain. Qin Wang looked at the information with anticipation in his eyes. Practice first. Qin Wang made up his mind, took out 2 spiritual stones, held them, and began to absorb spiritual energy and convert them into mana. On the way to Yingxiantai, he had absorbed a lot of spiritual stones intermittently. Qin Wang felt that it would take 2 days to break through the second level of the Qi refining stage. That night, Qin Wang took time out and spread 100 pieces of information in Longjing City. Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chouhong. The bedroom play was as short as 3 breaths, and was secretly despised by his wives and concubines. His favorite concubine Huang Ying and his eldest son Zhou Yidao had an affair for many years. His youngest son Zhou Yifei was actually his grandson. Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chouhong embezzled and accepted bribes, and hid 30,000 taels of silver in the manor villa on Yunzhou East Road. Zhou Chouhong secretly surrendered to King Jin. Seeing that Yundi's daughter Kang Yuyan became a disciple of Wanwaman, he wavered and prepared to bet on both sides. Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chohong, who had violated 3 women, his remains were in the dry well in the manor villa on Yunzhou East Road. After Qin Wang spread hundreds of intelligence in Longjing City, he did not stop, and used the Flying Eagle body skill to go straight to Yuntian Mansion. He knew it in his heart. When the news reached Yuntian Mansion, Zhou Chohong's people would definitely block Longjing City, search for the person who posted the intelligence, and delay them from going to Qingnuji to capture Dr. Bai and Li Yunhai and others. Moreover, after the information was exposed, Zhou Chohong was absolutely exhausted, his image of integrity was shattered, and his face was completely lost. He would not be able to get any good from King Jin and Da Kang. Chen Kun was looking for him everywhere. When he learned that there was intelligence in Longjing City, he would definitely rush here to die, so as to save himself from the trouble of looking for him. At that time, he became the 2nd level of Qi refining stage, successfully dealt with Chen Kun, and went to Shouten Mountain. Yunzhou, Longjing City, early morning, at the gate of the county government. Oh my god, no way, who is spreading rumors? Lord Zhou is an honest official who loves the people like his own children. How could he embezzle 30,000 taels of silver? Kill 3 people and dump their bodies in a dry well. That thing was as short as 3 breaths. The favorite concubine Huang Ying and the eldest son Zhou Yidao had an affair. Lord Zhou's youngest son is actually his grandson. This is incest, I don't believe it. Who is so bold? How dare to slander Lord Zhou? Nearly 100 people, including Zhonghu people, looked at a piece of paper on the wall and talked about it. In recent years, Lord Zhou, the governor of Yunzhou, has a very good reputation in Yunzhou. He is fair and honest. Once Yunzhou was hit by a flood, he rushed to the front to fight the flood. He didn't sleep for several days and nights and fainted from exhaustion. He wore very simple clothes and never took a sedan chair when traveling. How could such a good official embezzle 30,000 taels of silver? And kill 3 people and dump their bodies in a dry well? At this moment, more than a dozen police officers came over, tore off the paper and took it away. The same scene. Nearly 100 of them appeared in conspicuous places such as Longjing City's wine shops, tea houses, crossroads, city gates, and vegetable markets. For a while, the whole Longjing City was talking about it, and most of the people did not believe it. Yuntian Mansion. Afternoon, 3 o'clock. Zhou Chohong, wearing a black gauze hat, was sitting at the desk to handle the case files. My lord, it's not good. At this moment, the master came forward, handed over a notice with both hands, and stood aside respectfully. What is this? Zhou Chohong saw that the master's expression was a little wrong today, frowned and took the paper. He looked at it for a while, and suddenly stood up, his whole face was gloomy and scary. Master, this, where did you get this notice from? Even though Zhou Chohong had been an official for many years and had good skills in nourishing qi, he couldn't help but pinch his bones with his hands, and the powerful momentum of the late first-class realm swept over. Sir, this is from the dragon. Longjing City Divine Constable Division sent here by a divine eagle. It is said that someone posted hundreds of notices on the gates of the government office, taverns, restaurants, and the city gates last night. At this moment, Shifeng only felt a terrifying aura emanating from the Lord, which made him step back several steps and remain silent. In Longjing City, who spread this news? What is his purpose? How did this person know these secrets? At this moment, Zhou Chohong's eyes flashed coldly, and he thought rapidly in his heart. This paper pointed out that he accepted bribes of 30,000 taels of silver, secretly surrendered to King Jin, was wavering in his mind, and molested 3 women and hid their bodies in the dry well of the other courtyard. He knew in his heart that all of this was true, but how did this mysterious person know it? The most important thing is, the matter of secretly surrendering to King Jin was exposed, and the Dakang Divine Constable Division would definitely investigate. He also exposed himself and was wavering. He was ready to bet on both sides. King Jin would definitely not be happy. This time, he was not pleasing both sides, which was the most fatal. Expose Qin's siblings. Zhou Chohong narrowed his eyes. He suddenly remembered that Bai Xiao Shenzhen and Tianji Pavilion had appeared in Yanyan County. He exposed Zheng Kecheng. Finally, Zheng Kecheng was killed and burned when he investigated and exposed his suspect Bai Xiao Shenzhen. In the end, the spearhead pointed at the Qin siblings. In other words, Bai Xiao Shenjin was disguised by the Qin siblings. They are in Longjing City. You are simply looking for death. If you dare to slander me like this, you will be torn into pieces. Zhou Qiuhong thought of this, expressionless, and slowly spoke. Come here, notify Yan Tingwei to go to Longjing City and investigate this matter thoroughly. Yes, sir. Shi Feng respectfully clasped his fists, stepped back 3 steps, and then turned and left. At this moment, he only felt sweat on his vest. As the master's advisor, he knew that the calmer the master was, the more terrifying he was. Time passed. In a blink of an eye, it was 2 days later. 3 o'clock in the afternoon of that day. Yunzhou County Government. In a secluded small courtyard. Finally, I have reached the 2nd level of qi refining. Qin Wang sat on the couch and suddenly opened his eyes. After absorbing all the remaining spirit stones, he finally broke through the 2nd level of qi refining as he wished. At this moment, from his body, a powerful wave of mana emanated. He slowly stretched out his hand, the 5 elements gathering Yuan Gong was running, and the red mana was like fireworks, lingering around his palms. It looked mysterious and strange. Zhou Qiuhong, tonight is your death. Qin Wang stood up, with murderous intent flashing in his eyes, and began to organize the soul-shocking knife, soul-gathering bowl, rain of pear blossom needles, sadness and dispersion incense, etc. Because it was still early, Qin Wang disguised himself as an old man, walked towards the long street of Yunzhou County, and entered the Yunzhou Clay Pot restaurant. I chose a can of black chicken and turtle soup and ate it with relish. I have something to do tonight, so I have to eat my fill. The taste of this clay pot soup is very unique, the chef's cooking skills are good, and the diners are almost queuing up. Have you heard about the incident this morning where nearly 1,000 people picked up silver in the Manor Villa on Yunzhou East Road? Picking up silver. How could that be? I have lived for 30 years from childhood to adulthood, and I have only picked up 3 copper coins. It is the mysterious man who exposed Mr. Zhou, it is true. That is indeed Mr. Zhou's villa, and the silver ingots in the basement are piled up into a mountain. They were blasted open by several mysterious people, and the silver ingots were thrown everywhere, and many people went to pick them up. I never thought that the upright Mr. Zhou would embezzle so much silver. The ancients said, 3 years as a clean magistrate, 100,000 silver coins, it is true. That's not all. 3 dried bones were found in the dry well in Lord Zhou's private courtyard. So, is it true that Lord Zhou secretly surrendered to King Jin? Is it true that his son became his grandson? Qin Wang was drinking chicken soup, and heard the discussion of the diners at the next table. Zhou Qiuhong, let's see how you turn things around. Qin Wang sneered in his heart. Qin Wang's plan is to make this old guy lose his reputation first, and then assassinate him. This old guy, just want to lean on the thigh, step on me to get to the top, it's simply courting death. At night, 11 o'clock, Yunzhou County Government. The lobby was lit. Zhou Qiuhong, dressed in a brocade robe, sat at the table, looking at one of his sons, Zhou Yidao, in front of him, and asked calmly. Yidao, have you found out who opened the basement of the East Road Villa? The mysterious man broke the notice yesterday. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the East Road Villa was blasted open, and 30,000 taels of silver ingots were exposed. This matter is too important, it concerns the future of the Zhou family, and must be dealt with first. The matter between Yidao and Huang Ying can only be settled later. Dad, it hasn't been found out yet. I only know that 5 men in black killed 4 guards and blasted open the basement of the villa with palm power, spilling the silver, attracting the people to rob. Zhou Yidao respectfully clasped his fists. At this moment, he was panicked and dared not look into his father's eyes. The matter between him and Huang Ying was exposed, and his father seemed to be fine, which made him feel very depressed. This is forcing me to make a choice. Zhou Qiuhong sighed, took a deep breath, and made a choice in his eyes. This exposure, the silver was dug out, and the reputation of integrity that he had built for many years collapsed. He had no choice but to surrender to King Jin openly. Zhou Qiuhong, you don't need to make a choice, I'll take you there. At this moment, a cold voice sounded, and with the voice, a thin figure appeared at the door, wearing a black robe and a black mask. He carried a long sword on his back, held a cloth bag as big as a bowl in his left hand, and held a fire starter in his right hand. Who are you? Zhou Qiuhong and Zhou Yidao were both shocked, their eyes were alert, they shouted, drew their swords, and their powerful aura spread out. Aren't you going to catch me, skin me, and lick the stinky feet of Chen Yi of the Immortal sect? Qin Wang spoke lightly, and the fire starter in his hand shook, and the cloth bag was instantly lit. The flames ignited, and Qin Wang swung it, and the cloth bag flew into the hall. Is it you? Zhou Qiuhong's expression changed when he heard the words, and at the same time he handed out a sword, trying to pick out the cloth bag. He knew that the Qin family siblings would have a kind of power-dispersing poison, but before the sword touched the cloth bag exploded and turned into countless sparks, scattering in all directions. The next moment, Zhou Qiuhong only felt the internal force of his dantian stagnate. He quickly held his breath, and the first-class realm of skill was activated, instantly dispelling the stagnation. The sword flower sprinkled with qi and swept, locking Qin Wang's 3 major acupoints. Not bad. Qin Wang smiled, the soul-shocking sword was unsheathed, and the magic power swept. Suddenly, the blade of the soul-shocking sword turned red, and the eagle body movement unfolded, turning into a red light and killing Zhou Qiuhong. Ding! With a crisp sound, Zhou Qiuhong's Hongxing sword met the soul-shocking sword wrapped in magic power, and was immediately cut off at the handle. The soul-shocking sword continued to move, and a red blade light passed through Zhou Qiuhong's legs. His legs were cut off at the root, and the whole person was shorter and fell to the ground. Blood spurted. At the same time, Zhou was hit by the sadness powder incense. His cultivation was only at the second-rate level, and he could not dispel it with his internal force like his father. He immediately collapsed to the ground, watching his father being cut in half with horror. Martial arts innate. How is this possible? Zhou Qiuhong looked at Qin Wang with deep horror in his eyes. He did not expect. The Qin siblings were actually martial arts innate. With his first-rate cultivation, plus the magic sword, Hongxing, they were actually cut off with one sword. At this moment, Zhou Qiuhong was filled with regret. In order to make friends with the immortal sect Chen Yi for the Zhou family, he eventually ruined the entire Zhou family. Zhou Qiuhong, you want to make friends with Chen Yi, but you deserve to die if you step on me to climb up. Don't worry, I will kill all of you with the surname Zhou. Let you reunite in the underworld. Go down. Qin Wang looked at Zhou Qiuhong, who was struggling in pain. His eyes were grim, and he cut his throat with a knife, and his head flew up. Qin Wang stepped forward. Another blow of the knife blew off Zhou Yidao's head. Qin Wang wandered around Zhou's house again, killed other Zhou family members, then lit a fire and left. Jinzhou. Jin Wang Mansion. Although Jin Wang Kang Tianshang has not yet ascended the throne, his Jin Wang Mansion is built like a small palace. In the gilded hall in the middle, the lights are still bright in the middle of the night. A handsome man in white clothes, wearing a crown, with extraordinary momentum, is sitting at the desk, reviewing the case files. Your Majesty, the matter has been settled. The 30,000 taels of silver of Lord Zhou, the governor of Yunzhou, are exposed to the sun and are snatched by the people. At this time, a man in black bowed forward, knelt on one knee at the door of the hall, and reported. Very good. In this way, the governor of Yunzhou can submit to me without any scruples. Kang Tianshang showed satisfaction in his eyes and nodded. Although Zhou Qiuhong surrendered secretly, he had been watching and waiting. He was very dissatisfied. This time, he got the chance and immediately helped him, cutting off his retreat. Next, Zhou Qiuhong would definitely surrender. Yunzhou, Jinyan County. In an inn, the Qin siblings appeared in Longjing City. A middle-aged man in a red robe, with a white face and no beard, pinched his orchid fingers and held a letter, and his eyes suddenly burst into murderous intent. Cousin, these siblings actually came to Yunzhou. How great. When we catch them, we must capture their neighbors and acquaintances, and cut them into pieces together. Peel them and cramp them. Only then can we relieve the hatred in our hearts. Next to Chen Kun, Zhou Yijian, dressed in white, echoed, with expectant eyes. With one sword, let's head to Longjing City. Chen Kun rubbed his hands together, and the letter paper in his hands turned into powder, as if what he was rubbing was not the letter paper, but the Qin family siblings. Zhou Yijian nodded, signaled to the 2 guards around him, and the 4 of them headed towards Yunzhou. At this time, Zhou Yijian didn't know that Yunzhou County had changed. The next day, 9 a.m., Yuntian Mansion. 50 miles away. Qingxi Town. This town is similar in size to Qingnuji. Qin Wang sat cross-legged on the couch of Fuyun Inn, holding the last 300-year-old ginseng slice in his mouth, silently working on the 5 elements gathering gong. Currently, all my spiritual stones and ginseng are used up. After killing Chen Kun, we are going to Shouten Mountain. Qin Wang looked at his package and made secret calculations in his heart. According to his estimation, Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chohong's family was wiped out overnight. Rumors are probably spreading across Yunzhou County. This matter is too big. If Zhou Chohong dies, Yunzhou cannot be left without an owner for a day, or it will be appointed again by the Dakang court. A state pastor came over. Or, Yunzhou Governor Zhang Shiqing takes control. However, these have nothing to do with him anymore. Zhou Chohong has been eliminated. Qin Wang looked at some useful information from this early morning with a thoughtful look on his face. 1. Yesterday, you used the Baisu powder incense on the first-class Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chohong, but the effect was not good. After obtaining information, you obtained the method and solution for the preparation of the Baisu Fengling incense, which is stronger than the Baisu powder incense. Medicine, please click filled circle for details. 2. You killed Zhou Chohong yesterday and obtained information. Zhou Yijian, Zhou Chohong's son, got the news that you were in Longjing City. He and Chen Kun rushed from Jinyan County to Longjing City, vowing to kill you. The corpse was broken into thousands of pieces, skinned and cramped. 4. You killed Zhou Chohong yesterday and obtained information. King Kang Tianshang of Jin was fully expecting Zhou Chohong, the shepherd of Yunzhou, to offer Yunzhou. However, he learned that Zhou Chohong was assassinated, and the warlord Zhang Shiqing, the governor and governor of Yunzhou, took control of Yunzhou. I am extremely depressed about the news in Zhuzhou, and I vow to find you who killed Zhou Chohong and ruined his major event. 5. You observed the 3-corpse Gu King jar yesterday and obtained information. Jin Shifeng sensed the exact location of the sniffing spirit Gu. He will recover some injuries in a month and find the sniffing spirit Gu to track the 3-corpse Gu King jar. This sorrow-sealing spirit incense can actually seal the mana of a monk below the 5th level of Qi refining stage for an hour. This comes at a great time. Qin Wang looked at the secret recipe revealed by the intelligence and felt very satisfied. Sadness-sealing spirit incense. It is composed of the poison of the first-order monster moon demon spider, the poison of paralyzing moths, red snake essence and blood, and 36 kinds of medicinal materials. It is flammable and effective after becoming incense. It has 5 layers of Qi refining period. After the monk heard this, his magic power was stagnant for an hour, his limbs were paralyzed and unable to move, and he gradually recovered after an hour. This is very powerful. It is the poison of the first-order monster moon demon spider. These medicinal materials are not available in the world. You can only get them by going to Shouten Mountain. Qin Wang looked thoughtful. I am even more looking forward to going to Shouten Mountain. Chen Kun is coming to die. Prince Kang Tianshang of Jin wants to find me. Jin Shifeng will find the sniffing spirit Gu in a month and track down the 3-corpse Gu King jar. Qin Wang looked at the remaining 3 pieces of information, thought about it secretly, and decided to kill Chen Kun first and deal with it completely. Then, he went to Qiyang County, got Su Tianai's materials for refining the magic weapon, and then went to Shouten Mountain. At present, Chen Kun is rushing to Longjing City, and he only needs to ambush outside Longjing City. 2 days later, Jin Palace. In the middle is a gilded hall. Dressed in white clothes and wearing a crown, the imposing and handsome man sat in front of the case, looking at the successful report in his hand, with a look of satisfaction in his eyes as he murmured. General Tianyan Li Jingzong has completely captured Yuzhou. Very good. As long as Zhou Chohong completely surrenders and Yunzhou returns to Jin, I will control the territory of 8 states including Jinzhou, Yuzhou, Yanzhou, Liangzhou, Yunzhou, and Kangzhou. Now, Kang Tianshang was in a very good mood. Of the 36 states in Dakang, he occupies 8 of them. Snow Lotus Sect and Taiping Dao each occupy 3 states. Rebels of various sizes have sprung up in other places. Emperor Dakang Yun only really controls 16 states. Report, Your Majesty, the Yunzhou spy Condor sent a message. At this moment, a general wearing black armor walked in quickly, knelt on one knee, and walked with the strides of a dragon and a tiger. Oh, could it be news from Yunzhou Mu? Kang Tianxiang's eyes lit up. He reached out and grabbed the letter in the armored general's hand, and opened it immediately. What? Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chohong was assassinated. The whole family was wiped out. After reading the contents of the letter, Jin Wang Kang Tianxiang's face suddenly darkened. Originally, according to his expectation, after Zhou Chohong's misdeeds were revealed, public sentiment would drop sharply, and the detective division would also investigate him. In this way, Zhou Chohong can be forced to make a decision and surrender to him. But now that Zhou Chohong's family has been killed, the warlord Zhang Shiqing, the governor and governor of Yunzhou, has been sent to take control of Yunzhou. If he wants to get Yunzhou, he will have to spend more effort to attack it. Zhang Wu, send a message to investigate who killed Zhou Chohong. Kang Tianxiang slowly stood up and looked in the direction of Yunzhou with murderous intent in his words. Yes, Your Majesty. The armored general Zhang Wu turned and left. I actually killed Zhou Chohong at this time. Destroy this king's great event. Jin King Kang Tian's male eyes contained murderous intent. He exhaled a deep breath of depression, clenched his fists together, and made a rattling sound. South of Longjing City, 30 miles away, Beishi Mountain is the only way to Longjing City from Jinyan County. Qin Wang was carrying the frightening knife on his back and sitting cross-legged in a mountain valley. In front of him was a fire spirit knife magic book. He was at a high place and could clearly see the official road in front of him. Spell: Fire Spirit Knife Introduction. Progress: 1/800. Effect: the magic gathers the fire spirit into a knife, shoots it out in the air, is extremely sharp, and burns with flames. It can be completed in 5 years. Time flies. Suddenly, Qin Wang's panel trembled, prompting the fire spirit sword to enter. Good. I'm finally getting started with the fire spirit sword. Qin Wang looked at the fire spirit sword displayed on the panel with a look of satisfaction in his eyes. This is his first spell. According to the records in the fire spirit knife, this spell can be used to condense a spiritual sword with mana, and fly out to kill people. It can also attach the spiritual power of the fire spirit knife to the magic weapon to increase the sharpness and burning power of the magic weapon. Burn lethality. At this moment, Qin Wang suddenly saw 4 horses galloping towards him on the official road ahead. The leader was a man in red clothes and a feathered hat, followed closely by a man in white clothes. Both of them were carrying swords. Behind them, there were 2 old men in gray clothes who were about 50 years old. Not long after, the 4 of them approached the official road at the foot of the mountain. Chen Kun, it's really him. As the 4 people approached, Qin Wang discovered that one of them was Chen Kun, the head of the Chen family in Yanyan County. Although, now Chen Kun is a first-class master. However, Qin Wang is now a second-level immortal cultivator in the qi refining stage. It is certainly not a problem to kill Chen Kun, who is only at the first-level level. However, even if a lion fights a rabbit, he must use his full strength. He still lit a Baisu San Gong sachet in his hand, flashed his figure, used the flying eagle movement, and headed towards Chen Kun and the others. Drive, drive. At this moment, Zhou Yijian's eyes were bloodshot and he was extremely anxious. He had just received the news from Shenying that his father and eldest brother were assassinated by a mysterious man late at night and the whole family was wiped out. He was the only one left in the family. When Zhou Yijian saw a young man in gray clothes with a sallow complexion flying down from the rocks, he immediately reined in his horse and stopped. Because the 4 riders were too fast, the white horses neighed and the men stood up. Who are you? Why are you blocking my way? Zhou Yijian looked at the sallow-faced man in gray clothes in front of him with a gloomy expression. Something big happened at home. He was rushing back to Yuntian Mansion, and this person was looking for death if he blocked the road. He just wants to ask clearly before killing him. Although he felt that the strength of the person in front of him was not weak, he was not afraid. He had his cousin who was at the first-class early stage beside him, and there were 2 guards who were also top-notch masters among the Yunzhou Yunting guards. Ha ha, Chen Kun, you have been hunting our siblings for so long, it's time to end now. Qin Wang ignored Zhou Yijian and looked at Chen Kun, who was throwing the incense towards Zhou Yijian like lightning. He calculated that Zhou Yijian had the lowest cultivation level, and his 2 guards would definitely come to rescue him, which would dispel his sorrow. As Qin Wang expected, Zhou Yijian's 2 guards saw this and quickly drew out their swords to block it. However, the cloth bag exploded in midair, causing sparks to fly and cover an area of several feet. Cover Zhou Yijian and the two guards. Yes. After hearing Qin Wang's words and seeing sparks flying from the cloth bag that Qin Wang smashed, Chen Kun suddenly shook his body, with a look of resentment in his eyes, trembling all over, and shouted. Spreading poison. Cousin, get out of the way. It's the Qin family's little beast. Chen Kun reacted and immediately stepped back 10 feet to avoid the range of the cloth bag. He looked at Qin Wang from a distance, his eyes wide open and his murderous intent revealed. He didn't expect that. The person who has been searching for the genocide is right in front of him. Little beast, you gave me such a hard time. Do you think you can deal with me with poison? When the poison is gone, I will cut you into pieces. Use your flesh and bones to rot, and then kill all your relatives. Relatives, to honor the souls of more than 100 members of my Chen family. You little fool. Chen Kun stood more than 10 feet away, his eyes filled with hatred, and the sword in his hand was full of energy. At this time, Zhou Yijian and the two guards retreated after hearing Chen Kun's reminder, but it was already too late. The incense of Baisu powder is poisonous quickly. Zhou Yijian's legs immediately weakened and he fell to the ground. However, the two old guards felt the stagnation of mana in the dantian, and their bodies were sluggish for a moment. After their meridians turned around, they felt that the stagnation had subsided a lot. Right here between the lightning and flint. Choke. With a sword roar, Qin Wang's frightening sword was unsheathed. The mana-infused shocking knife suddenly turned red, drew an arc of light, and slashed at the two first-class guards. Phew, phew, two first-class guards were cut in half on the spot and died. No, Zhou Yijian's eyes widened. The next moment, a flash of red flashed in his eyes, his throat hurt, and his consciousness gradually dissipated. How can this little beast be so strong? Chen Kun left the range of Sangong poison far away, and saw the light of Qin Wang's sword killing two first-class guards, with a look of horror in his eyes. He knew it. With his early first-class realm, he could not display such a blade light. He knew that he was no match for Qin Wang. At this moment, Chen Kun was extremely shocked. He really couldn't understand how a kid who couldn't survive in Qingnu group could have such a strong strength. Go. At this moment, the only thought in Chen Kun's mind was to escape. Originally, he wanted to take revenge, but just now he saw the sword light that Qin Wang used, flashing red light, powerful and terrifying. With his cultivation, he couldn't use it at all. Staying here is just to die. It's better to find Yer in the Immortal Gate. Let Yer kill this kid. Thinking of this, Chen Kun's figure flashed and he rushed away in an instant. Chen Kun, where are you going? Seeing that Chen Kun wanted to escape, Qin Wang shouted, and the eagle body movement was launched to chase Chen Kun. The two were one in front and one behind, more than 10 feet apart, crossing hills and rivers. Qin Wang used the flying eagle body skill, which was performed with magic power. His speed was much faster than Chen Kun. In less than a moment, Qin Wang was only 10 feet away from Chen Kun. What should I do? It's getting closer and closer. How did this little beast practice? Chen Kun felt that Qin Wang was getting closer and closer behind him, and he became more and more panicked. He was running all the way, and his internal strength was gradually exhausted. Thinking of this, Chen Kun showed a look of pain, reached into his arms, and took out a 3-inch long talisman paper with a circular halo symbol engraved on it. When the Immortal rewarded me, I said that as long as I hold this spiritual light shield in my hand, when I encounter danger, it will trigger a protective shield halo, which can save my life once. Chen Kun remembered what the Immortal said when he rewarded me, and held the spiritual light shield talisman tightly, and ran as fast as he could. You run pretty fast. Kill him early and get it over with. Qin Wang looked at Chen Kun who was running desperately, his eyes flashed coldly, took out an iron cylinder, and pressed the machine expansion on Chen Kun's back. Suddenly, a burst of cold light from the rain of pear blossom needles shot out. Chi chi chi. Buzz. Suddenly, Qin Wang found that a light yellow halo flashed on Chen Kun's body, which looked very mysterious. The rain of pear blossom needles shot up, but they all bounced off and fell to the ground. Chen Kun was not hurt at all. Spiritual light shield. Seeing the light shield flashing on Chen Kun's body, Qin Wang immediately remembered the information shown in the intelligence. This was given by the elders of the Immortal Gate when he left. His footsteps did not stop, and he continued to accelerate and chase, saying in a deep voice, Chen Kun, this is given to you by the elders of the Immortal Gate, right? So what if you have a turtle shell? He, I want to see how long your internal force can last. Is it that God wants to kill me, Chen Kun? Chen Kun's heart sank when he heard this, but he didn't dare to look back. As Qin Wang said, his internal force is almost gone. This spiritual light shield can protect himself from harm, but how long can it last? The internal force is exhausted, but he still can't escape. How to resist this little beast? The two of them galloped all the way. Soon they entered the mountains, surrounded by lush trees. Chen Kun held a sword in one hand and a spiritual light shield talisman in the other. He leaned against a big tree by a mountain stream and panted like a bellows. He looked at Qin Wang with despair. His internal strength had been exhausted and he really couldn't run. His body was still wrapped in a light shield, and Qin Wang couldn't kill him for the time being. Chen Kun, you run. Qin Wang looked at Chen Kun and didn't continue to attack. Chen Kun had a spiritual light shield on his body, and he couldn't break it even if he continued to bombard him, and it was a waste of mana. He also tried to snatch his spiritual light shield talisman, but the spiritual light shield talisman was held in his hand and protected by a layer of light yellow light shield, so he couldn't get it at all. Qin Wang had no choice but to stay aside and wait for the spiritual light shield to dissipate. Anyway, this place was already deep in the mountains and no one would come. When the spiritual light shield dissipated, it would be the time for Chen Kun to die. Chen Kun stared at Qin Wang with a venomous look in his eyes, saying nothing. I want to see if you live or die. Suddenly, Qin Wang's heart moved. He reached into his bosom and took out a fist-sized cloth bag, and then took out a fire starter and shook it, instantly lighting the cloth bag. Then he held a knife in one hand and a cloth bag in the other hand to Chen Kun's nose. Qin Wang, you beast, you will not die well. Ah! Chen Kun looked at Qin Wang and actually stuffed the power-dispersing poison into his nose, and his eyes were immediately horrified. He tilted his face to one side in anger and struggled desperately to get up, but he was so weak that he fell down every 3 steps. He struggled to crawl forward desperately. You can scold me, you have a turtle shell, I don't believe I can't drown you. Qin Wang strode forward, grabbed the 2 feet of the weak Chen Kun, and dragged him towards the mountain stream. The spiritual light shield protected Chen Kun from harm, but what about holding him in the water? Can he drown? Chen Kun, who had already collapsed, rubbed his entire face against the rocks beside the mountain stream, causing the spiritual light shield to flicker. Qin Wang took 2 steps at a time and dragged Chen Kun to the mountain stream, pressing him into the 3-foot deep water, and the spiritual light shield flickered. Little beast, you and I will become ghosts. Ah! Chen Kun kept struggling, but he ran all the way. His internal energy was exhausted, and he was powerless. After just a few struggles, he was pressed into the water by Qin Wang. He struggled for a while and then stopped moving. Qin Wang stepped forward, but found that Chen Kun had died. The talisman in his hand fell and floated in the water. It seems that the time for the spiritual light shield has come. Qin Wang picked up the spiritual light shield talisman and found that it was useless. There was no ring on it, and it was completely a blank yellow talisman paper. Intelligence shows that Chen Kun has another talisman. Qin Wang thought about this, when Chen Kun, who was about to die, turned over, groped in his arms and found a cloth bag. He opened the rope of the cloth bag and saw a pile of banknotes and a light yellow paper charm. This talisman is about 3 inches long and 2 inches wide. There is a ring on it, emitting mysterious light, and it looks very extraordinary. Aura shield. Qin Wang looked at the talisman, took a deep breath, and put it away. After checking again, he was worried that Chen Kun was not dead, so he cut him in half with a sword and blasted a pair of moves, and then walked away. Jinzhou. Jin Palace. Kang Tianshang, the king of Jin, dressed in white, stood in the square of his residence with his hands behind his back, looking into the distance with his eyes full of thought. Kings. We found out that it was a brother and sister who killed Yunzhou Mu. The sister's name is Qin Shuimei, and the brother's name is Qin Wang. According to the fact that they once exposed Master Zhou in the name of Baishao Shenzhen and Tianji Pavilion, he is good at a kind of dispersing poison. My subordinates speculate that there may be a hidden force behind them. At this moment, a general in black armor stepped forward quickly and clasped his fists respectfully. Those things about Yunzhou Mu, they actually knew to track down the siblings first. I am very interested in Baishao Shenzhen and Tianji Pavilion. Kang Tianshang's eyes flashed and he spoke in a deep voice. All the hidden things about Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chouhong have been exposed. If he could get in touch with Tianji Pavilion or make a deal, wouldn't it be much easier to deal with Da Kang's ministers? Yes, Your Majesty. Zhang Wu clasped his fists respectfully, stepped back a few steps, turned and left. Half a month later, Jinzhou, Qiang County, the former site of the Voodoo Gang. After a battle with Yang Yuding, the Voodoo Gang disappeared. They were uprooted by the Qinglong Society and the Evil Tiger Gang, and their territory was divided up. Early in the morning, Qin Wang sat cross-legged in the room of Jinsheng Inn, looking at his panel. Information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. You have been caressing the spiritual light shield talisman that you received from Chen Kun recently, and you are worried that it has the tracking mark of the Tai Sword Sect Elder. You have obtained information that the spiritual light shield talisman conveniently given by the Tai Sword Sect Elder is the lowest level talisman. For the elders, it is a complete burden and takes up space in the storage bag. It was given conveniently. It has no branding and can be used safely. 2. You stroked the aura talisman yesterday and obtained information. The aura talisman was made by Zhang Mu, the talisman master in the late stage of Qingyan sect's qi refining. Zhang Mu was killed by Fei Bin, the demon foundation builder, and Fei Bin was killed by the golden elixir master Uncle Zhang. The dragon swallowed it, and finally, Zhang Bingyan, the elder of Tai Sword Sect, killed Zhang Long and obtained the talisman. 3. The news of your killing of Chen Kun and Yunzhou Mu Zhou Chouhong spread, and information was obtained. Zheng Lingyun learned of your news and vowed to cut you into pieces one day. 4. You went to the old site of the Voodoo Gang yesterday and obtained information that the treasure hidden by Su Tianai of the Voodoo Gang is located in the basement of number 18 East Street, Qiang County. 5. Yesterday, you touched Master Qingyao's first solution and storage bag of elixirs, and obtained information that Master Qingyao's storage bag was purchased at Shaodanshan Duobao Pavilion. 6. You sorted out the treasures yesterday, looked through the Qiang magic technique, and obtained information that Li Qiye, who gave you the Qiang magic technique, has obtained immortality and entered Shaodan Mountain. 7. Yesterday, you touched the cloth bag that your sister Qin Shuimei sewed for you and obtained information that Qin Shuimei has become the direct disciple of Mu Chenshui, the head of the Wanhua sect, and obtained a large number of spiritual stones, elixirs, magic weapons, and storage bags. Qin Shuimei is very worried and misses you. 8. You stroked the 3-corpse Gu King jar yesterday and obtained information. In order to recover from his injuries, Jin Shifeng swallowed the essence of mortals and attracted the masters of the world. He was worried about alerting Jinzhou Qilianxian to pursue him, so he decided to hide in the mountains for another month. 9. You touched the storage bag yesterday and obtained information. The entrance to Shaodan Mountain where Master Qingyao purchased the storage bag has been guarded by low-level monks Hu Shihan and Ding Feng for the past month. 10. You touched the ancient parchment scroll obtained from Zhang Hanyan yesterday and obtained information. The secret of the parchment scroll requires special methods to be revealed. This spiritual light shield talisman is really twists and turns. Qin Wang looked at the first and second pieces of information and couldn't help but sigh. He was relieved that there was no brand. He killed Chen Kun's family. If there was a brand, and the Tai Sword Sect elders followed the brand and chased him, he would definitely die. Did you find out the exact address of Su Tianai's magic weapon materials? Li Qiye obtained the fate of immortality and entered Shaodan Mountain. Isn't he so lucky? After reading the information, Qin Wang stood up. Now that he knew the location of Su Tianai's magic weapon material, he naturally went to get it early and then headed to Shaodan Mountain. My sister has gained a lot of resources at Wanwaman, which is a good thing. You have to work hard yourself. In the early morning, the sun rises. Golden light fell on his body like a sword, as if coated with a layer of golden light. Is this the material for refining magic weapons? It's just that, it's a bit difficult to refine the magic weapon, right? Qin Wang stood on a river embankment in Qiang County, looking at an irregular dark iron-like object in his hand that was as big as a fingernail and murmured. This thing, although it is small, it weighs about 5 kilograms, which is quite strange. No wonder it was collected by Su Tianai. Gone. Qin Huang looked at the rising sun on the horizon, took a deep breath, and galloped towards the Tianwu Mountains at the junction of Jinzhou and Yunzhou. Intelligence display. The entrance to Shaodan Mountain is in the Tianwu Mountain Range. Chapter 71. Amagiri Mountains. Located at the junction of Dakang Jinzhou and Yunzhou, it is named because it is blocked by formations and is shrouded in thick fog all year round, just like a fairyland. Here, the mountains are high and the forests are dense. Giant trees cover the sky and the sun, and the beasts among them roar constantly. It is also a forbidden area of Dakang Kingdom. This day, a young man with dark skin, about 20 years old, carrying a package on his back, galloped over and landed at the mouth of a valley outside the Tianwu Mountains. Intelligence shows that the entrance to Shaodan Mountain is here. Qin Huang stood at the mouth of the mountain and looked around. When he came to Shaodan Mountain, he didn't change his appearance much. He just darkened his skin a lot so that he looked more mature, and his age showed that he was 20 years old. At this moment, in the clearing in the mountain valley ahead, mist suddenly surged, and two people in Xingyi, a man and a woman, appeared. The man is quite tall, thin, and has a horse face. The woman is wearing a green dress with a flower on her temples. She looks extremely pretty, especially with her fair skin. Fellow Taoist invites you, but you want to join Shaodanshan. The man raised his fist towards Qin Huang and asked in a warm voice. Yes, I wonder what you call the two seniors. Qin Huang nodded and clasped his fists respectfully at the two of them. The cultivation level of the two people in front of me is higher than mine, and their expressions are respectful. My name is Ding Feng, and she is fellow Taoist Hu Shihan. You can call us fellow Taoist Ding and fellow Taoist Hu. After Ding Feng's words, he said again. We are here to guide Taoist friends who are destined to be immortals into Shaodan Mountain. If you Taoists don't understand anything, we will tell you everything. Thank you two seniors for helping me. I would like to ask you two seniors to clarify your doubts. I would be very grateful to you. Qin Huang bowed deeply and was extremely respectful. Since his cultivation level is low, he naturally has to keep his posture low. It is impossible for Ding Fengrang to call him fellow Taoist and talk about friendship among equals, and he would really believe it. If you really shout like that, people will think you are ignorant. Ding Feng looked at Qin Huang with approval in his eyes and said. You come with me, I will tell you some rules that need to be paid attention to, as well as the practice in Shaodan Mountain. After saying that, Ding Feng took out a palm-sized black sign and waved it towards the mist in the mountain valley. He saw that a passage more than 2 feet high appeared in the mist, and he could actually see the scenery inside, which was picturesque and lush with vegetation. A fresh breath rushed to his face, and Qin Huang instantly felt that his breathing was dozens of times easier than before. He followed Ding Feng and Hu Shihan into the passage. As far as the eye can see, a huge mountain with a radius of hundreds of miles is creeping on the ground. It is surrounded by spiritual energy and towering ancient trees. At the foot of the mountain are spiritual terraces, which are filled with various spiritual valleys, spiritual plants, and many spiritual fields. There is a famous monk busy here. On the sunny side of the giant mountain is a huge market comparable to that of Yanyan County. There is a wide street in the middle and shops on both sides. Behind the street, there is a large area of cabins, and further on the mountain, there is a large area of elegant lofts. Tens of feet into the mist channel, there are 3 main halls and a small pavilion on the left. Know through understanding. As long as your cultivation reaches the innate realm of martial arts, you are qualified to enter Shaodan Mountain to practice. A monk like Qin Huang, who has an immortal connection in the secular world and has advanced to the qi refining stage, is first taken to the Immortal Fate Hall at the entrance by the lead monk to register, and then temporarily lives in a small wooden house in Fang City. Next, you can rent a spiritual field and land in Shaodan Mountain, plant spiritual grain elixirs, raise spiritual beasts, help high-level monks decompose the corpses of monsters, earn spiritual stones from elixir boys, waiters in spiritual taverns, etc. for your own cultivation. With Ding Feng's advice and help, Qin Huang first rented an acre of spiritual land for 1 year after registering it, and the annual rent was 12 spiritual stones. After all, he currently has no other skills for earning spiritual stones. The cabin that Ding Feng helped arrange is No. 88. Of course, the cabin that Xiaodanshan arranges for new monks is not free of charge. It also costs 12 spiritual stones a year. After earning spiritual stones, you still need to make up for the rent of spiritual stones. After thanking Ding Feng and Hu Shihan, Qin Wang returned to his cabin No. 88. The wooden house is divided into an outer room and an inner room. There is a single wooden bed in the outer room without a bedding, and there is a stove and other items in the inner room. It is also prepared for some martial arts innates. After all, martial arts innates cannot live without food. Let's go out for a walk first and check out the information tonight. Qin Wang secretly planned and had some expectations in his heart. Planting spiritual fields can only be done on the surface, and I mainly have to rely on the intelligence panel. The intelligence panel refreshes information in the secular world and can make money. Here, they are all spiritual stones. You should be able to use the information to earn spiritual stones. Qin Wang was walking on the street at the foot of Shaodan Mountain. On both sides there are Duobao Pavilion, Dharma Instrument Pavilion, Elixir Shop, Talisman Shop, Spiritual Grass Shop, Animal Skin, Talisman Paper and other shops. I also saw many martial arts innates who were leaders of a gang in the secular world and had a strong aura, but here they could only carry the corpses of monsters for the monks. In the Elixir Pavilion, Dragon Blood Elixir is the lowest level elixir. There are also body tempering pills for refining the body, Qi tonifying pills for restoring mana, spirit accumulating pills, etc. for sale. The Spiritual Light Shield Talisman is also sold here for 8 spiritual stones each. There are also sharp magical instruments, hundreds of years of ginseng, etc., which are all too numerous to see. There is even Heihuan Pavilion in Shaodan Mountain to solve some of the monks' needs. Qin Wang came back from visiting Xiaodanshan Market. It was already afternoon and the sun was setting in the west. When he returned to cabin number 88, he saw a strong man who looked about 44 or 5 years old, with a muscular beard and a tiger skin waistcoat. Carrying a demon boar, they were separated at the door. Beside him, there was a slim girl in purple clothes holding a dagger to help. Fellow Taoist, what should I call you? From now on, we will be neighbors. When the strong man saw Qin Wang, he immediately grinned. Hello, senior, my name is Qin Titan, you can just call me Xiao Qin. Qin Wang clasped his fists at the strong man and said with a smile. He discovered that not only was the strong man's cultivation higher than his, but also that of the girl in purple. Qin Wang did not tell his real name and made up a name. My name is Gao Yuan, and this is my daughter Gao Wenjing. It's too awkward to be senior, so just call me Uncle Gao. Gao Yuan smiled at Qin Wang, and continued to deal with the demonic wild boar with his daughter. Qin Wang also entered the room. Evening, Qin Wang was sitting cross-legged in the room practicing. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. When Qin Wang opened the door, he saw Gao Wenjing, dressed in purple, holding a piece of wild boar meat, about 3 or 4 kilograms, and handed it to Qin Wang. This is for you. Ah, this makes me so embarrassed to ask for you. Qin Wang declined repeatedly. Xiao Qin, we are all neighbors, take it, uncle went there to hunt today. Gao Yuan's voice sounded from the side. Thank you very much, Uncle Gao. Qin Wang couldn't refuse any more, so he had to accept the meat of the demon boar. Early in the morning, information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. You joined Xiaodanshan in Shushanfang City yesterday and obtained information. Xiaodanshan is one of the 4 Shushanfang cities under the jurisdiction of Lingyao Mountain, and is headed by Zixia Zhenren in the foundation period. 2. You visited Duobao Pavilion yesterday and obtained information. Duobao Pavilion recovered 3 magic weapons, 3 talismans, and a pile of monster materials from the Jia Shoshan War at a low price today. 3. You passed by Yidanwei yesterday and got information that Kai Lianxian, a member of Yidanwei, went to the secular world to help King Jin because King Jin had helped Lianxian Li Wucho bury his father. 4. You went to the weapon refining workshop yesterday and received information that the weapon refiner Tai Wuya refined a red flame halberd magic weapon yesterday. 5. You accepted 4 kilograms of demonic wild boar from Gao Yuan yesterday and obtained information. Today, Gao Yuan and his daughter will team up with others to go deep into the demonic wild boar infestation. They will encounter a powerful demonic wild boar and lose a talisman. 6. You accepted the demon boar from Gao Yuan yesterday and obtained information. In the valley 3 miles east of Qian Mountain where Gao Yuan hunted the demon boar yesterday, a demon boar will be injured and dying by a demon python at 3 o'clock in the afternoon 5 days later. 7. You met Ding Feng yesterday and got information. Ding Feng is in love with Hu Shihan. Hu Shihan is devoted to cultivation and has no intention of finding a Taoist partner. 8. You met the casual cultivator Yan Honghao yesterday and obtained information. Yan Honghao once practiced Qiang magic and is the son of Yan Beifei. Because he is unwilling to join the Demon Slayer Alliance, he will be targeted by the Demon Slayer Alliance. 9. You passed by the Demon Slaying Alliance yesterday and got information. Jin Shifeng, a member of the Demon Slaying Alliance, swallowed the blood of a first-level demon python in the mountains. He has recovered somewhat from his injuries. He will track the 3-corpse Gu King Jar to Shouten Mountain in 58 days. 10. You passed by the Demon Slaying Alliance yesterday and got information. Tang Zhangzhong, the leader of the Demon Slaying Alliance, found a cave for casual cultivation. However, there was a formation guard outside the cave. Tang Zhangzhong wanted to find an formation master to enter together, but he was worried. Very confused. Today's information has been refreshed. Qin Wang saw that the information had been refreshed, and his eyes suddenly showed anticipation. This is the first time to collect information in Shushenjefeng City. Where Gao Yuan hunted the demon boar yesterday, in the valley 3 miles east of Qian Mountain, a demon boar will be injured and on the verge of death with a demon python at 3 o'clock in the afternoon 5 days later. This is a big gain. Qin Wang checked the 10 pieces of information and suddenly felt something in his heart. He found that the 6th piece of information was of great help to him. A demon python and a demon boar were both injured and dying. If they were picked up, wouldn't it be a large amount of spiritual stones? Only, Qin Wang knew it very well. I just came to Fang City and picked up a demon boar and a demon python. I didn't even ask if I could bring them back. Even if I brought them back, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to keep them if I didn't have any strength. How about asking Gao Yuan to pick it up together? Qin Wang looked thoughtful. He can't protect himself, but Gao Yuan's strength can. Also, there are wild boar demons coming and going in Qian Mountain. Gao Yuan is there, so be safe. Another thing, Gao Yuan has given me meat, and he seems to be a good person. Only, how can I get Gao Yuan to follow me to pick up the demon boar and demon python? Qin Wang felt a little worried. However, fortunately, there are still 5 days left, and we will always find a way. Will Jin Shifeng track Shouten Mountain in 58 days? Qin Wang looked at the 9th piece of information and frowned slightly. This is not good news. Jin Shifeng is a member of the Demon Slayer Alliance. He took his things and he came back 58 days later. How could he be his opponent? The 3-corpse Gu King Jar is the 5 elements divine light jar and must not be handed over. We must work hard to earn spiritual stones and see if we can increase our cultivation progress as soon as possible. Qin Wang looked at his panel, took a deep breath, and thought to himself. He knew it in his heart. Only with a strong cultivation can one safely deal with future crises. To become stronger, one must have more spiritual stones. Although, Qin Wang had a storage bag from Master Qingyao in his hand, but he did not have the cultivation of the middle stage of the qi refining period, and he did not have the birth of divine consciousness, so he could not open the storage bag at all. So, before the 4th level of the qi refining period, he had to work hard to earn spiritual stones to improve his cultivation. 5 days later, the opportunity of Qian Mountain must be obtained, which is the first spiritual stone to come to Shouten Mountain. Shouten Mountain, Bowling Hall. Located at the crossroads on the east side of Shouten Mountain, it is responsible for renting spiritual fields and collecting spiritual seeds. As Qin Wang came to Shouten Mountain for the first time, he received a bag of spiritual seeds, as well as a spirit rain technique, spell and spiritual planting details. Of course, this spiritual rain spell is not given for free, because when planting spiritual fields, it is necessary to use the spiritual rain technique to sprinkle water on the spiritual seedlings to promote growth. Give it in advance, and deduct it when the spiritual grain is harvested. There are 2 monks guarding the exit of Shouten Mountain every day. If the monks who have registered want to leave, they must register in advance. Once they run away with the spiritual grain seeds, they will inevitably be hunted down by the patrol guards of Shouten Mountain. Of course, no one would do this. In the secular cultivation, whereas the spiritual energy is abundant as that of Shouten Mountain. At night, after Qin Wang cooked some of the wild boar monster meat that Gao Yuan gave him yesterday and ate it, he felt that the essence contained in it was very sufficient. After just eating a bowl, he felt hot all over and had a strong sense of fullness. It's worthy of the meat of the wild boar monster. Qin Wang looked at the wild boar monster meat that was still more than 3 pounds, and his eyes were shocked. The meat was very firm. It didn't taste very good, but the energy contained was strong, which was very suitable for improving strength. On the third day, Qin Wang planted all the spiritual grains in the 1-acre spiritual field 5 miles away from his cabin, and he also started to learn the spiritual rain technique. Spell: Spiritual Rain Beginner. Progress: 16/800ths. Effect: Condensation of mana, spiritual rain, promotion of seedling growth, small success in 2 years. Day 4. Early in the morning, Qin Wang went out and saw Gao Wenjing sorting out medicinal materials and Gao Yuan wiping the long sword in his hand. He immediately stepped forward and greeted him with a fist. Good morning, Uncle Gao. Good morning, Xiao Qin, how is the spiritual grain in your spiritual field? Gao Yuan said with a warm expression. All done. After Qin Wang finished speaking, his eyes flashed and he said, Uncle Gao, I want to trouble you with something. Oh, Gao Yuan was a little surprised, nodded and said, You say. Uncle Gao, I want to hire you to take me to Qian Mountain tomorrow, okay? I don't have spiritual stones now. When I harvest the spiritual grain, I will definitely pay you 4 spiritual stones. Do you think it's okay? Qin Wang looked at Gao Yuan with expectation in his eyes. Tomorrow is the 5th day of the intelligence display. Qian Mountain is about 15 miles away from Shouten Mountain. It is dangerous to go alone, but it will be much safer if Gao Yuan goes with you. Another thing, Gao Yuan went with them to harvest the wild boar monster and the demon python to avoid others plotting against him. He is only at the 2nd level of Qi refining stage. If he picks up a wild boar monster and a demon python, he might be plotted against and killed by someone with ulterior motives. Although Gao Yuan will take away some of the harvest, it is better than being plotted against and killed by others. Gao Yuan frowned slightly. Qin Wang's cultivation level is only at the 2nd level of Qi refining stage. Just to go to Qian Mountain to take a look, he spent 4 spirit stones. This is 4 months' rent. Gao Wenjing on the side also looked puzzled. Uncle Gao, to be honest, my uncle also entered Shouten Mountain before. He was killed by a demon python in Shouten Mountain. My grandmother kept saying that she couldn't find my uncle's remains before she died. I want to see if I can find my uncle's remains and bring them back to the ancestral land. Please, take me to see it once. I will come back after I see it. I promised you 4 spiritual stones. When I harvest the spiritual grain, I will definitely fulfill it. Qin Wang looked determined, and his eyes were red. So that's it. Alas. Hearing Qin Wang's words, Gao Yuan sighed and said, Well, the 2 Taoist friends who will kill monsters with me tomorrow have to heal their wounds and can't go out. I'm fine too. I'll just walk around the periphery and take you to Qian Mountain. As for the spiritual stones, forget it. Gao Yuan was originally a member of the monster hunting team. The other people were injured in the last monster hunting and needed to rest for a few days. He was fine alone. He went to Qian Mountain to see if there were any lonely monsters, and took Qin Wang to fulfill his wish. As for the spirit stone, Qin Wang didn't have any at the moment. They were all neighbors, so it was convenient to take one with him. Thank you, Uncle Gao. Hearing Gao Yuan's promise, Qin Wang was relieved immediately. Just wait until 3 p.m. tomorrow to go to Qian Mountain 3 miles east to pick up monsters. The next day, 11 o'clock in the morning. After Qin Wang finished eating a piece of stewed wild boar monster meat, he followed Gao Yuan and Gao Wenjing to Qian Mountain. Gao Wenjing was in the 3rd level of Qi refining and used a sword, while Gao Yuan was in the 5th level of Qi refining and used a knife. Both of them used low-grade magic weapons. Carrying the soul-shocking knife and dry food, Qin Wang followed the 2 and walked towards Qian Mountain. Along the way, Gao Yuan explained to Qin Wang the monsters near Shouten Mountain. Most of the monsters outside Qian Mountain were wild boar monsters, rabbit monsters, and armored monsters. Among them, pig monsters reproduced the fastest and were extremely ferocious. When Qin Wang arrived at Qian Mountain, he wandered 3 miles east in the name of looking for his uncle's remains. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Suddenly, Gao Yuan heard the howling of a wild boar demon and the sound of falling trees in the distant mountain stream. His expression changed immediately and he said to Qin Wang and Gao Wenjing, "Wait for me here, I'll go take a look." "Yes, okay, Uncle Gao." Qin Wang and Gao Wenjing nodded and stayed where they were. Gao Yuan clenched the fire soul blade in his hand, and did not dare to get close. He slowly walked to a high place and looked down at the mountain stream. Suddenly, his whole body was shocked and inexplicably shocked. Is it an adult wild boar demon and a demon python? At this moment, in the mountain stream, the python demon entangled the body of the wild boar demon, but the wild boar demon's sharp steel teeth bit the python demon's 7 inches and refused to let go. Just now, the python demon rolled around the wild boar demon, causing the shock. And, Gao Yuan discovered, the struggle of both sides became smaller, and gradually stopped moving. Together destroyed. Thanks to Shao Qin, I made a fortune this time. Gao Yuan looked at the huge wild boar monster in the mountain stream below. This wild boar monster was a circle bigger than the wild boar monster he killed a few days ago, and there was also a python monster that could compete with the wild boar monster. From this movement, it seems that the two monsters are fighting for territory. If there is no movement, it should be mutually destroyed. Qin Wang stood not far away and saw that the sound in the mountain stream in the distance stopped, and said to Gao Wenjing beside him, "If this is true, then we will make a lot of money this time." Gao Wenjing was also very excited when he heard it. "Shao Qin, Wenjing, come here." Just then, Gao Yuan, who was watching from the top of the mountain stream in the distance, shouted to this side. "Shao Qin, let's go over." Gao Wenjing looked expectant, said to Qin Wang, and the two rushed towards the mountain stream. Not long after, Qin Wang saw a demon python as thick as a bull, with black scales all over its body and a triangular head, rolling up a black wild boar demon like a calf into a dumpling. The sharp teeth of the black wild boar demon deeply penetrated the demon python. Blood also flowed out of the mouth of the black wild boar demon. The blood of the pig demon and the python dyed the mountain stream red. The two demons were obviously dead and there was no movement. "Wow, Dad, Shao Qin, we actually picked up 2 demon beasts." Gao Wenjing was surprised to see the pig demon and the python demon who died together in the mountain stream. "Shao Qin, this time, thanks to you, if you hadn't come here, we wouldn't have encountered such a great thing. These 2 demon beasts, take them and sell them, at least 100 spirit stones. Let's go down and take a look." Gao Yuan waved his hand to Qin Wang, with a happy look in his eyes. He was going to rest at home today, but Qin Wang said he wanted to find his uncle's remains, so he thought of going out for a walk. Unexpectedly, he would get such a huge harvest. Immediately, the 3 of them went down the mountain stream. Gao Yuan jumped first, stabbed the wild boar's butt with the fire soul knife in his hand, and then stabbed the python 7 inches. The 2 monsters were motionless, obviously dead. Shao Qin, Uncle estimated that this wild boar monster and python monster can be sold for at least 100 spirit stones. I came out today at your invitation, otherwise, we would not have this good opportunity. The credit is yours. After selling it, Uncle will give you 70 spirit stones. What do you think? Gao Yuan looked at Qin Wang, thought for a while, and said, "Such a wild boar monster. With his strength of the 5th level of Qi refining period, he may not be able to kill it alone, and he needs to fight with the other members of the hunting team." "Uncle Gao, no problem." Qin Wang nodded. "Uncle Gao has a storage bag, so even if I were to move it back by myself, I couldn't move it back by myself. 100 spiritual stones, I have to take 70. With these 70 spiritual stones, I wonder if I can advance to the 3rd level of Qi refining. Okay, then I'll put it away and go back first." Gao Yuan was also very happy, nodded, and went to collect the wild boar monster and python monster. "Fellow Taoist Gao, what you did is very unkind. I saw a wild boar monster and a python monster fighting a quarter of an hour ago, so I went to find my eldest brother. I didn't expect that you would take it away in the blink of an eye." In the entire Shaodan Mountain, no one dares to snatch things from the people of my Demon Slayer Alliance. At this moment, a gloomy voice sounded, and then two middle-aged men in gray clothes with medium build and strong aura appeared. They stood high in the mountain stream, looking at the monster body that had not been collected in time, with greed in their eyes. Zhao Xuanting, a quarter of an hour. I've been here for more than an hour, how come I didn't see you? People should be reasonable, whoever sees it owns it. Hearing the words of the gray-clothed middle-aged man, Gao Yuan frowned deeply, waved his hand, put the bodies of the demon python and the wild boar demon into the storage bag, and pressed his hand on the handle of the knife. Really, I said I was here a quarter of an hour ago, and you said you have been here for more than an hour. No one can tell why, but no matter what, you know the principle that whoever sees it gets a share. This wild boar demon and demon python can be sold for at least 100 spiritual stones. My eldest brother and I also saw it, and we don't want more, just half. 50 spiritual stones. Zhao Xuanting narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice. Zhao Xuanting, you are too much. This is what we encountered, why should we share it with you? Hearing this, Gao Yuan's eyes were about to spit fire, and he was extremely angry. Originally, the three of them discovered it, but Zhao Xuanting saw it later and asked for a lion's mouth. Fellow Taoist Gao Yuan, we are here today on behalf of the Demon Slaying Alliance. If you don't give it, you are going against our Demon Slaying Alliance. Hehehehe, I hope your demon hunting team will go out to slay demons in the future and come back safe and sound. Zhao Xuanting sneered and put his hands behind his back. Although his strength is not as good as Gao Yuan's, he is completely confident with the Demon Slayer Alliance standing behind him. You've gone too far. Hearing Zhao Xuanting's words, Gao Yuan's chest rose and fell sharply, suppressing his anger, he said in a deep voice. There are 3 of us, and we discovered it. You two will give you 20 spiritual stones later. He is just a member of a 6-person demon hunting team. But the other party is a member of the Demon Slayer Alliance. Especially the leader of the Demon Slaying Alliance, Jin Haolong, is already at the 9th level of the Qi refining stage. If they turned against the Demon Slayer Alliance, they would be outnumbered and their own demon hunting team would really be worried about being plotted by them. Fellow Taoist Gao, you are sending beggars away, right? I won't bother, 40 spiritual stones. Just bring them and I'll leave. Zhao Xuanting smiled and looked proud. I don't have that many spiritual stones with me. I'll sell them to you when I go back. Gao Yuan took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. For the sake of the demon hunting team, he chose to compromise. Okay, have fun. I knew that fellow Taoist Gao was a man of general knowledge. I, Zhao Xuanting, have made you my friend. Zhao Xuanting laughed loudly and waved his hand. Let's go. Go to the Demon Slayer. After Zhao Xuanting finished speaking, he and his eldest brother Zhao Xuanzhen left for Shaodan Shanfang City. Xiao Qin, Wen Jing, let's go back. Gao Yuan greeted Qin Wang and Gao Wenjing helplessly, protected them behind him, and headed towards Shaodan Shanfang City. Demon Slayer Alliance. Zhao Xuanting. Qin Wang followed Gao Yuan, his brows furrowed deeply. The corpse of a monster can be sold for 100 pieces of spiritual stones. The Zhao brothers took advantage of their power and took away 40 pieces, leaving 60 pieces. How to divide it? You must have great strength. Qin Wang couldn't help clenching his hands. If you don't have strength, you will be threatened and manipulated. Uncle Gao has no choice but to resort to the trap, otherwise, when his demon hunting team goes out to hunt demons, they are plotted by the Demon Slayer Alliance, and the possibility of their death is too high. After getting the Spirit Stone, while practicing, you must also prepare the sorrow-sealing spirit incense. Qin Wang said secretly in his heart. The sorrow-sealing spirit incense can seal the mana of monks below the 5th level of the Qi refining stage for an hour. It has been prepared successfully to prepare for emergencies. The 5 of them galloped along. Half an hour later, they returned to Demon Slayer Square. The demon slaying workshop is located at the end of the long street of Shaodan Mountain. This place specializes in decomposing various monster corpses, materials, teeth, bones, spider venom, poisonous snake venom, etc. Gao Yuan took out the bodies of the wild boar demon and the python demon and sold 102 pieces of spiritual stones in the demon slaying workshop. Gao Yuan took out 40 spiritual stones and threw them to brother Zhao Xuanting. Fellow Taoist Gao, You are indeed a person who understands the general picture. Next time something good like this happens, let's work together. Zhao Xuanting took a deep look at Gao Yuan and said with a smile. Watching Zhao Xuanting and Zhao Xuanzhan walk away, Gao Yuan remained silent. Immediately, Gao Yuan waved his hand to wipe the storage bag, took out the remaining 62 spiritual stones, took out 12 pieces, handed the rest to Qin Wang, and said, Xiao Qin, the Zhao brothers are too abominable. There is nothing we can do about this. How about this, I take 12 pieces and you take 50 pieces. What do you think? Uncle Gao, this, how can I be so embarrassed? I'll take 40 pieces. Qin Wang sighed, took out 40 spiritual stones, and stuffed the rest into Gao Yuan's hands. Gao Yuan helped him, and he couldn't let him suffer. The remaining 22 pieces were his reward. There was nothing we could do about it. If you want to blame someone, you have to blame Zhao Xuanting. Qin Wang remembered this grudge in his heart, and he must get it back with interest in the future. Xiao Qin, this loss is caused by me, I'm really sorry. Seeing Qin Wang return the package, Gao Yuan refused again and again, and seeing Qin Wang insisted, he had no choice but to accept it. This demon killing shop processes the corpses of demon beasts. Materials, teeth, bones, spider venom, venomous snake venom, etc. are all for sale. Take them back to gather the materials for the sad and tender soul-sealing incense. By the way, wander around the street and trigger intelligence. Qin Wang followed Gao Yuan and Gao Wenjing back to the cabin and returned to the room, with a thoughtful look in his eyes. He immediately put away the spirit stone, closed the door, and went back to the demon-killing shop. Sad and tender soul-sealing incense. It is made of the poison of the first-level demon beast moon demon spider, the poison of the paralyzing moth, the blood of the red snake, and 36 kinds of medicinal materials. After it is made into incense, it is easy to burn and has a quick effect. When the cultivators below the 5th level of the qi refining stage smell it, their mana will stagnate within an hour, and their limbs will be paralyzed and unable to move. After an hour, they will gradually recover. In the demon-killing shop, Qin Wang bought the poison of the moon demon spider, the poison of the paralyzing moth, the blood of the red snake, and other poisons. Then he bought many other spiritual herbs at Linkaotang on the street. A portion of sad and su fengling incense plus the antidote cost Qin Wang 15 spiritual stones in total. I hope this sad and su fengling incense can be put to good use. Total, 3 spiritual stones for 1 stick. At 6 p.m., Qin Wang sat in cabin 88, looking at the 5 gray lumps the size of eggs in front of him, muttering. At present, these 5 pieces of sad and su fengling incense are still damp and need to be dried. When used, they are ignited with a fire stick or fire spells. They are colorless and odorless. However, I have the fire spirit knife spell, so it is no problem to ignite this sad and su fengling incense. It is very convenient. Qin Wang secretly calculated. At present, there are still 55 spiritual stones left in his hand, and he needs to improve his cultivation. After all, Jin Shifeng of the Demon Slayer Alliance will track him down and come to Shaodan Mountain in more than 50 days. Thinking of this, Qin Wang locked the door. He held a spiritual stone in each hand and breathed in and out. Late at night, in the early hours of the morning. Daily Intelligence Refresh. Today's Intelligence. 1. You went to Qian Mountain yesterday and picked up a demon wild boar. You got intelligence that the demon wild boar had been to the east of Qian Mountain for 300 miles. There is a secret cave there. It is the place where a cultivator who has reached the great perfection of qi refining stage has been in seclusion. The cultivator died there because he failed to break through the foundation building. 2. You met Zhao Xuanting of the Demon Slayer Alliance yesterday. You got intelligence that Zhao Xuanting's brother killed Tang Song, a casual cultivator of Shaodan Mountain, at 11 o'clock last night. He burned the body with fire magic and got a small harvest. 3. You met Zhao Xuanting of the Demon Slayer Alliance yesterday. You got intelligence that the Demon Slayer Alliance where Zhao Xuanting is located is very dissatisfied with Gao Yuan's demon hunting team and wants to get rid of Gao Yuan's demon hunting team. 4. You met the demon wild boar yesterday and fought with the python monster and died together. You got information that the demon python has 4 python eggs in the cave near Qian Mountain. They contain powerful essence and will be of great help to your cultivation. 5. You hired Gao Yuan to go out yesterday and got information. He was extremely angry with Zhao Xuanting and his brother, but he had no way to deal with it. He didn't want to drag down the hunting team because of his own affairs. 6. You ate the demon wild boar meat given by Gao Yuan yesterday and got information that your body became a little stronger because of absorbing the essence of the demon wild boar. 7. You met Zuo Bufan yesterday and got information that Zuo Bufan was poisoned by the moon demon spider. Today, he sold his magic weapon in the magic weapon pavilion and bought an antidote pill in the Eden Club to cure the poison of the moon demon spider. 8. You touched the Three Corpses Gu King Jar yesterday and got information that the former owner of the Three Corpses Gu King Jar, Gu Zun Zilling Gu, found Jin Shifeng again in order to rebuild. 9. You met Fei Jianhua, a 6th level Qi refining cultivator from Shaodan Mountain yesterday. You got information that Fei Jianhua spent a quarter of an hour on Shaodan Mountain Flower Street last night and spent 32 spiritual stones. Afterwards, he regretted it. 10. You met a demon wild boar and a python demon yesterday and died together. You got information that there are more than 300 demon wild boars 30 miles away from Qian Mountain. 300 miles east of Qian Mountain, there is a hidden cave, which is the place where a Qi refining great perfection cultivator is in seclusion. The cultivator died because of failure to break through the foundation. This information. Great opportunity. Qin Wang looked at the first piece of information and his eyes lit up. However, Shaodan Mountain is a Shushan market. The further you go out, the more dangerous it is. There are groups of demon beasts. They are powerful and can fall if you are not careful. Not to mention 300 miles away. I'm afraid I can't think of this for the time being. I can only go there when my cultivation reaches the 7th level of Qi refining, or even the 8th level or above. This demon-slaying alliance not only slays demons, but also performs calamity cultivation. You must be extremely careful in the future. Qin Wang looked at the second and third pieces of information, and his heart suddenly trembled. The demon python has 4 python eggs in the cave near Qian Mountain, which contain powerful essence. They will be of great help to me. It seems like we need to go shopping near Qian Mountain to find the cave of the demon python and find it. Qin Wang looked at the 4th piece of information with a thoughtful expression. Qian Mountain is nearby, and when I make some breakthroughs in my cultivation, I can take my time to go there and have a look. Eating the meat of the demon boar made my body stronger. It seems that I will eat more of this in the future. Looking at the 6th piece of information, Qin Wang had a plan in mind. In the future, if you have the spiritual stone, you will have to get a book of exercises to strengthen your physical body and practice it. After all, the stronger the physical body, the better it is for saving your life. Venerable Gu, also known as Sniffing Spirit Gu, has found Jin Shifeng again. Qin Wang looked at the 8th piece of information and frowned deeply. According to the information, the Sniffing Spirit Gu was Lord Gu transformed into Gu. This person was definitely not easy to deal with. He took the 3 corpses Gu King Jar. He will definitely catch up in the future. At present, all he can do is try his best to improve his cultivation. After reading the information, Qin Wang planned to take a rest first and continue practicing tomorrow morning, absorbing spiritual stones to improve his cultivation progress. It is tens of thousands of miles away from Shaodan Mountain. In a deep mountain, there is a place full of spiritual energy and shrouded in fairy mist. Peonies, jasmine, and countless unnamed flowers bloom all over the mountains and plains here, making this place look like a world of flowers. The majestic halls are located in a sea of flowers. On the highest mountain peak, on the back mountain, in a main hall, a slim and graceful girl sat cross-legged. It's the 5th level of Qi refining stage. I wonder if Wangzi has arrived at Shaodan Mountain now. How is he doing? Qin Shuimei finished her work and opened her eyes, looking into the distance outside the hall, with deep worry in her beautiful eyes. Ever since she came to Wanwaman with Master Liu Bihong, she has been accepted as a direct disciple by her master Mu Chenshui. She has no shortage of training resources and so on. Her daily work is to practice hard and improve her cultivation. In the future to win glory for Wanwaman. And, the master is worried that the Ba Dao sect and the spiritual medicine sect are causing trouble. In order to protect his heavenly spiritual roots, he cannot reveal his identity until his cultivation level reaches the foundation level. The only thing we can do now is to improve our cultivation with all our strength, and then go find Wangzi. Qin Shuimei took a deep breath, took out a spiritual stone again, and began to absorb it. Shouden Mountain, West Street. In a spacious hall, two middle-aged men in gray clothes sat cross-legged. Brother, yesterday we killed an unlucky man and extorted 40 spiritual stones from Gao Yuan. It was a great harvest. It's a pity that we couldn't extort Gao Yuan more. Zhao Xuanting looked at his eldest brother Zhao Xuanjun with a look of pity in his eyes. Second brother, it's almost time to extract some oil and water. Rabbits bite when they are in a hurry. Gao Yuan's demon hunting team is unwilling to surrender, and the alliance leader is very dissatisfied. It is best for the alliance leader to deal with them. Zhao Xuanjun said with a deep look in his eyes. That's what the elder brother said. Zhao Xuanting nodded. Gao Yuan is not scary, but Ouyang Long, the boss of their demon hunting team, is very strong and can stand up to the leader of the alliance. This is why the Demon Slayer Alliance wants to subdue them. If Ouyang Long can be subdued, the Demon Slayer Alliance will greatly increase in strength, and the chance of defeating the Yidan Society will be much greater. Time flies. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. Realm. Second level of Qi refining stage 918 2000ths. Qin Wang looked at his panel with a thoughtful look in his eyes. After Yunzhou County exhausted all the spiritual stones obtained from Qingyao Master, his cultivation level broke through the second level of Qi refining stage. He then used elixirs and ginseng to practice until he came to Shouden Mountain and reached the second level of Qi refining stage. The level of cultivation progress has also increased by 18 points. This half-month, Qin Wang absorbed 50 spiritual stones, and the progress of the Qi refining period increased by 900 points. Because, after advancing to the second level of the Qi refining stage, the proficiency gained by absorbing a spiritual stone has shrunk slightly to only 18 points. After all, if I want to advance to the third level of the Qi refining stage, I will need more than 60 spiritual stones. Qin Wang looked at the panel and calculated silently. There were 5 spiritual stones left in his pocket. Last half-month, Qin Wang also figured out the distribution of power in Shouden Mountain. The strongest person in Shouden Mountain was Zixia Zhenren, who was sent by the spiritual medicine sect to guard this place. He was in charge of Shouden Mountain. The two major forces, the Demon Slayer Alliance and the Yidan Society, are fighting openly and secretly in Shouden Mountain. There are also small forces such as Shanfufeng, Wanfa Tower, and Spiritual Medicine Hall. The only thing I have to rely on now is this Sad and Fenglingxiang. Qin Wang looked at the 5 dried packets of Bei Su Feng Lingxiang in front of him with a look of anticipation in his eyes. After drying the Bei Su Feng Lingxiang, when he obtained the information, he discovered a secret recipe. This secret recipe was actually used to lure monsters, and it was called Monster Lure Psychedelic Incense. Monster Attracting Psychedelic Incense. For first and second level monsters, it has a fatal temptation and can make them chase wildly. It can also be somewhat attractive to third level monsters. It would be great if this monster-inducing psychedelic incense could make the monsters incapacitated. What's the use of attracting monsters? Qin Wang looked at the secret recipe given by the information on the panel and secretly thought it was a pity. If he could make the monster incapacitated like the Baisu Sangong incense, then he could kill the monster directly. To know, a monster is worth a lot of spiritual stones. Unfortunately, it can only attract monsters. As far as Qin Wang knows, the strength of a first-level monster is comparable to that of a monk in the early or middle stage of Qi refining. The second-level monster is comparable to the late stage of Qi refining stage. Although this thing can't capture monsters, it can make monsters go crazy. It's a good thing to use to trick people. Suddenly, his eyes lit up and he murmured. The Zhao Xuanting brothers had robbed him of his spiritual stone, so he had to trick them to get rid of his hatred. Besides, the danger of Jin Shifeng, if Jin Shifeng chases him to Shouden Mountain, then he may have to attract the monsters outside Shouden Mountain to deal with him. Qin Wang is practicing. I go to my spiritual field every day to perform the spiritual rain technique, and the spiritual valley I planted has already sprouted. Early this morning, information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. Yesterday, you gazed at the cave on the top of Shouden Mountain where Zixia Zhenren is seated, and obtained information that Shouden Mountain was once the Yunling pool of the Shendon sect thousands of years ago. It was moved by the human race's powerful supernatural power to move a huge mountain to suppress a demon. Great power, vicissitudes of the sea, changes in the earth's crust, the essence of the great power has dissipated, but the physical body is as strong as a magic weapon. 3. You passed by the gate of the demon-slaying alliance yesterday and received information that Tang Zhongjong, the leader of the demon-slaying alliance, has a mysterious soul hidden in his ring. 6. You touched the 3-corpse Gu King jar yesterday and obtained information. The sniffing spirit Gu incarnated by Lord Gu found Jin Shifeng. With the help of the sniffing spirit Gu, Jin Shifeng will trace the breath of the 3-corpse Gu King jar. It was tracked to Shaodanshan 35 days later. 7. You passed by Shanfufeng yesterday and received information. Liao Bida, a perfect member of the 3rd level of Shanfufeng's Qi refining stage, intercepted and killed 2 members of Wanfa Tower who were in the 3rd and mid-level of Qi refining stage yesterday. They were accidentally poisoned by a moon demon spider and fell to death. No one noticed a crack in the rocks 5 miles west of Qian Mountain. Liao Bida, a member of Shanfufeng, died 5 miles away from Qian Mountain. I intercepted and killed 2 monks at the 3rd level of Qi refining stage during my lifetime. Qin Wang's eyes lit up when he saw some useful information. Qian Mountain is 5 miles away to the west. There are many monsters there, including monster boars, monster rabbits, and monster snakes. If you can use the monster-baiting psychedelic incense to lure away the monsters there, you can still pick up Liao Bida's things. You know, Liao Bida has just robbed 2 people in the middle of the 3rd level of Qi refining stage. When it gets daylight, go get some psychedelic incense that lures monsters as soon as possible. Qin Wang made up his mind and said secretly. He currently only has 5 spirit stones. 1 serving should be enough. The sun is rising. Xiao Qin, are you ready to go out? Qin Wang put the frightening knife on his back and was about to go out when he heard a greeting from Gao Yuan next door. Yes, Uncle Gao, we have finished taking care of the spiritual fields and are going to collect some elixirs around Qian Mountain. Qin Wang smiled at Gao Yuan. Gao Yuan and his daughter Gao Wenjing were ready to go, obviously preparing to follow the demon hunting team into the mountains to kill demons. Don't go deep, be careful. Gao Yuan warned. Spiritual farmers like Qin Wang, after taking care of the spiritual fields, go to collect herbs near Shaodan Mountain to earn some spiritual stones to supplement their income. Thank you, Uncle Gao. Qin Wang nodded in agreement. After bidding farewell to Gao Yuan, Qin Wang went to the demon-slaying workshop and the spiritual medicine hall and purchased the medicinal materials needed to prepare the demon-inducing psychedelic incense. These medicinal materials are sold in Shaodan Mountain, but they are a bit expensive. Qin Wang consumed 5 spiritual stones to prepare just the right amount. Noon. The sun was shining brightly. Qin Wang was standing on a hill with a frightening knife on his back and a bag of dried sorrowful soul-sealing incense and demon-inducing psychedelic incense. Suddenly, he saw a figure appearing 3 miles away. That person is none other than Zhao Xuanting. Isn't this the boy who was with Gao Yuan that day? A boy in the 2nd level of Qi refining is also going into the mountains to collect herbs. At this time, Zhao Xuanting also looked at Qin Wang in the distance, and his eyes narrowed immediately, muttering. He, no matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Zhao Xuanting thought of this and immediately rushed forward. Leaving, Qin Wang pretended to walk away, and did not see Zhao Xuanting, so he rushed carefully to the location shown in the intelligence. More than an hour later, Qin Wang came to 3 miles west of Qian Mountain, but found that there was a black wild boar demon on the rocks 5 miles away. He was immediately confused and frowned and muttered. Why are there so many black wild boar monsters? Could it be that Liao Bai Da was eaten by wild boar monsters? It seems that this demon-luring psychedelic incense cannot be saved. I hope Liao Bai Da's package was not eaten by wild boar monsters. Qin Wang thought to himself, and then he turned the fire spirit knife, lit the demon-luring psychedelic incense in his hand, threw it into a stone pit, and hid away. What tricks is this kid doing? Did he find me? It doesn't seem like it. Zhao Xuanting followed Qin Wang from a distance. Seeing Qin Wang turning left and right, he didn't look like picking herbs. He frowned and thought to himself, whether you find it or not, you can't escape from my palm today. Zhao Xuanting's figure flashed, and he used the wind control technique to chase Qin Wang. This is Suddenly, Zhao Xuanting found that the black wild boar monster, rabbit monster, and armored monster in the distance were desperately rushing over from all directions. Seeing nearly 100 monsters rushing towards him, Zhao Xuanting's scalp suddenly went numb, and he ran towards Qin Wang. Although he was a perfect cultivator of the 4th level of qi refining, he couldn't stand so many wild boar monsters. There is a saying that ants can kill elephants. These wild boar monsters are very cruel. Zhao Xuanting, he actually followed me. Qin Wang saw that the monster-luring psychedelic incense worked, and he was extremely excited. He rushed to the place where the intelligence showed. Suddenly, he saw a figure chasing him from the corner of his eye. He was shocked and found that it was Zhao Xuanting. The first time I came out alone, I was followed by a robbery cultivator. Qin Wang's heart was pounding, and he stretched out his hand to hold a stick of sad and crispy fangling incense in his hand, while rushing forward. The effect of the monster-luring psychedelic incense is very strong. But Qin Wang didn't know how long it would last. If these monsters turned back, it would be too late. He had to speed up and get Liao Bai Da's things. At the same time, he also had to use the sad sealing spirit incense to deal with Zhao Xuanting. Not long after, Qin Wang came to a pile of rocks. The wild boar monsters just appeared here. Qin Wang jumped onto the rock, looked around, and at the same time paid attention to Zhao Xuanting from the corner of his eyes, and found that Zhao Xuanting was 1 mile away. He was galloping towards him. This is. Suddenly, Qin Wang saw that in the crack of the stone 5 feet away from him, a large package was scattered, and there were talismans and spirit stones inside, all scattered on the cracks and stones. There were also a few spirit stones that were only half eaten, obviously eaten by the wild boar monster. In the crack of the stone on the other side, a skinny corpse was lying there, with both legs missing, obviously visited by the wild boar monster. A dark harpoon magic weapon was thrown aside. At this time, Qin Wang found Zhao Xuanting was only 50 feet away from him. Qin Wang's figure flashed and he stood beside the spirit stone. At the same time, the sad and tender spirit sealing incense in his hand was ignited by the fire spirit knife, and wisps of colorless smoke spread around Qin Wang. You are the little fool who follows Gao Yuan, right? You run. Zhao Xuanting's figure quickly landed 3 feet away from Qin Wang. He looked at Qin Wang with a grim smile, and with a wave of his hand, he took out a long sword magic weapon, looked at Qin Wang with a smug look. Zhao Xuanting, I am only the 2nd level of qi refining stage, I don't have spirit stones, and the spirit field has not been harvested yet. Wait until I harvest it and then I will give it to you. Don't hurt my life. Qin Wang saw the smoke of the sad and tender spirit sealing incense under his feet dissipate, and deliberately said it, trying to delay the time. No spiritual stones. You were with Gao Yuan that day, so you got a share, at least several. He. No matter how small a mosquito is, it's still meat. Give it to me. After Zhao Xuanting finished speaking, his eyes were filled with a fierce smile, and he made a gesture with his right hand, preparing a fireball to kill the little monk in front of him. Suddenly, Zhao Xuanting's expression changed, and he found that he couldn't mobilize the mana in his body just now. Moreover, his limbs were weak, and his hands and feet were like noodles that couldn't be supported, and he immediately fell to the ground. What's going on? My mana. Zhao Xuanting was shocked, and subconsciously, he looked at Qin Wang opposite him, but saw a sneer on Qin Wang's mouth, and his heart sank immediately, and his eyes showed disbelief. You poisoned. Zhao Xuanting, you just woke up now. Die for me. Qin Wang stepped forward with a fierce look, and the lightning of the soul-shocking knife flashed, crossing Zhao Xuanting's throat. Blood spurted out. Zhao Xuanting's eyes showed disbelief and despair, unwilling, blood spurted 3 feet high from his throat. Qin Wang killed Zhao Xuanting with a knife, then touched his waist, pulled off his storage bag, and dug out his 2 eyeballs with a knife. He glanced at the storage bag. It was a gray storage bag. Qin Wang put away the storage bag, picked up his magic sword, turned around and walked towards Liao Bai Da's package, and immediately picked up the scattered spiritual stones. Even the spiritual stones that were half-eaten by the wild boar monster were not wasted, and all were put into his pocket. After packing up everything, Qin Wang immediately turned around and galloped away. There is a wild boar monster here. I will come over later and help clean up the corpses. This trip is really a big harvest. Qin Wang used his body skills to gallop, avoiding the monster wild boars, monster rabbits and other monsters that were heading towards the psychedelic incense, and headed towards Shaodan Mountain. 10 miles away from Shaodan Mountain, Qin Wang hid the storage bag and magic sword obtained from Zhao Xuanting in a cave under a cliff. This storage bag was obtained from Zhao Xuanting. He did not have the strength of the 4th level of Qi refining stage and could not open it at all. If he carried it with him, he couldn't guarantee whether there was a mark of the Demon Slayer Alliance or his elder brother Zhao Xuanjun on Zhao Xuanting's storage bag. If Zhao Xuanjun found it, it would be the end. He couldn't take this risk. Of course, if he didn't find it, it would be even better. He hid the storage bag, marked it, and rushed to Shaodan Mountain. When it was getting dark, Qin Wang rushed back to hut number 88 in Shaodan Mountain. He got some food casually, then locked the door, put up the door support, sat cross-legged on the couch, and began to count his gains today. Liao Bai Da, it seems that he often does robbery repairs. Rather rich, there are so many poisons in the package. Qin Wang looked at Liao Bai Da's package, and there was a touch of shock in his eyes. In Liao Bai Da's package, there were various poisons, drugs, pills, low-level talismans, soul-enhancing pills for restoring mana, chi-replenishing pills, and 63 spiritual stones. In his package, there were 2 other packages. One of these 2 packages contained 16 spiritual stones and some herbs, and the other contained only 9 spiritual stones, a few pills, some herbs, and a black teapot lid as big as a bowl. Total of these spiritual stones, there are 88, enough for me to advance to the 3rd level of Qi refining stage. Qin Wang looked at the spiritual stones in the package and his eyes lit up. This Liao Bai Da is really a beast. He didn't even let go of the herb collectors. Qin Wang secretly cursed Liao Bai Da while packing up the other 2 packages. The main hall where the Demon Slayer Alliance is located. A middle-aged man in gray clothes sat in a house behind the main hall, looking outside from time to time, frowning deeply, and muttered. Why hasn't Zan Ting come back yet? It's dark. Today, because Zhao Xuanjun talked about Qianlong with his Taoist partner, his younger brother Zhao Zan Ting went to the outskirts of Shaodan Mountain alone. It was 7 o'clock in the evening and he still hadn't come back. He had a bad feeling in his heart. Shaodan Mountain, behind the long street, in the small wooden house No. 88. Qin Wang looked at the black teapot lid as big as a bowl in his hand and took a look. He felt that this teapot lid was about the same color and size as his 3 corpses Gu King jar. He immediately took out the 3 corpses Gu King jar from the package beside him. It fits perfectly. Qin Wang put the teapot lid on the mouth of the 3 corpses Gu King jar and found that it was just right. At the moment when the lid was closed, Qin Wang saw that the jar shook, and the 5-colored light flashed on it, and then disappeared. This teapot lid that I got unexpectedly turned out to be the lid of the 3-corpse Gu King jar. No, it should be called the 5 Elements Divine Light jar. Qin Wang looked at the jar in front of him, with expectation in his eyes. According to the intelligence, this jar is called the 5 Elements Divine Light jar. If the lid and the 5 elements of water are found, it will have a powerful attack and killing power. How should this be used? Qin Wang looked at the 5 Elements Divine Light jar, but found that the lid could not be taken off after it was closed, as if it grew on it. Qin Wang pondered for a long time, and his hand cut a little blood on the shocking soul knife and dripped it, but there was no way, muttering. It seems that we have to wait until we develop our spiritual consciousness. Practice first, and strive to improve our cultivation to the 3rd level of the Qi refining stage. After Qin Wang made up his mind, he put some of the 3 bottles of Yunling Dan and 4 bottles of Bukchi Dan from Liao Bai Da's package into the treasure bowl to purify them, and then he held a spiritual stone in each hand and practiced the 5 elements gathering Yuan Gong. Qingnu Ji, Baiakeotang. Late at night, Dr. Bai, who was wearing a washed white shirt, stood in the back hall, looking at the 34 or 35-year-old man in front of him, with a complicated expression, and said, Ling Feng, it's good to be back. Go see Fengwan. When you left, she was only a little over 1 year old. Dad, I am unfilial. I have made you and Fengwan suffer over the years. The man looked at the old man in front of him, with a deep sense of guilt in his expression. With a plop, he knelt in front of the old man and cried bitterly. What are you doing? It's not your fault. Bai Mingliang helped the man up and murmured. That poison, Dad couldn't cure it even after reading all the medical books. Now that you've returned safely, Dad is relieved. By the way, why didn't Feng Ji come back with you? Feng Ji. The man paused and said. She can't get away from the sect, she will come back when she is free. This time, I'm going to live in Qingnuji for a long time. Live for a long time, oh, it would be great if Feng Ji could come back. When Bai Mingliang heard his son say that he wanted to live in Qingnuji, the wrinkles on his face were stretched out. When the man heard his father mention Feng Ji, he was silent. 13 years ago, Feng Huan's mother Feng Ji was seriously injured and wandered in Qingnuji. He took good care of her. In the end, they fell in love and gave birth to Feng Huan. Unexpectedly, Feng Ji's identity was mysterious. She was the daughter of Saint Feng Yao. Feng Ji's mother was captured by the Holy Land because she blasphemed the Holy Land. In order to save her mother, Feng Ji returned to the Holy Land and took the punishment for her mother. He wanted to rescue her, but Feng Yao Holy Land was too powerful. With his limited cultivation, he was like a gnat trying to shake a tree. The only thing he could do was to take good care of Fengwan. Why are you in a daze? Go and see Fengwan. Bai Mingliang tightened his clothes and pointed to a room in the back hall. Yes. Bai Lingfeng nodded and walked towards his daughter's room. Late at night, in the early hours of the morning. Daily intelligence refresh. Today's intelligence. 1. You used the sad sealing spirit incense to control Zhao Xuanting of the Demon Slayer Alliance yesterday. You got intelligence that Zhao Xuanting's elder brother Zhao Xuanzhan was extremely anxious and waited for his younger brother to return. He decided to go to Qian Mountain to look for him tomorrow. 2. You accidentally got the lid of the 5 Elements Divine Light Jar yesterday. You got intelligence that the 5 Elements Divine Light Jar and the lid were combined into one. There were 36 layers of restrictions inside. You need to gather the water of the 5 elements to exert the strongest power. 3. You picked up the relics of the robber cultivator Liao Bai Da yesterday and got a great harvest. You got information that Liao Bai Da was once robbed by a robber cultivator, but later accidentally got the poison book and became a robber cultivator. 4. When you were cleaning the package yesterday, you saw the Red Sun magic art and got information that Li Qiye, who stole the Red Sun magic art, became the alchemist of the Yiden Association, that is, the alchemist of the Dan League, Yang Kangding. 5. You used the magic incense to lure monsters such as wild boars, rabbits, and armored monsters yesterday and got information that one of the male wild boars found a hidden cave under a cliff. There was spiritual energy inside, but it was too big to squeeze in. 6. You killed Zhao Xuanting yesterday and got information that the Demon Slayer League behind Zhao Xuanting was preparing to launch an attack on Gao Yuan's monster hunting team in the depths of Qian Mountain tomorrow. 7. You touched the mysterious fragment on your chest yesterday and obtained information. The mysterious fragment was found by Zhubao Shanzun from the Wanling battlefield. When Zhubao Shanzun left the Wanling battlefield, he was killed by a mysterious and terrifying existence. The treasure he obtained fell on the land of the 9 domains in the style of a rain of flowers. 8. You went to the demon slaughter house yesterday and got information. When Shu Ying, the demon slayer of the demon slaying house, dissected a python yesterday, he got a fragment of iron in the belly of the python. The origin of this fragment is mysterious and it will be of great significance to you, help. 9. Yesterday, you used the treasure bowl to purify the Qi building pill obtained from Liao Bida, and obtained information that the impurities in the Qi building pill have been purified, so you can take it with confidence. 10. You passed by Wanfa Tower yesterday and got information. The shopkeeper of Wanfa Tower was attacked by a mysterious person last night and was seriously injured. The 5 Elements Divine Light Jar has 36 layers of restrictions inside. Qin Wang looked at the second piece of information with a thoughtful look in his eyes. 28 levels of restrictions. It seems that the 5 Elements Divine Light Jar has a great origin, but the 5 Elements water can only be explored slowly. The 5th piece of information is also an opportunity. Qin Wang looked at the 5th piece of information and thought to himself. The male wild boar can't get in. Maybe he can go and have a look when he reaches the 5th level of Qi refining stage. Zhao Xuanting is planning to attack Gao Yuan's demon hunting team tomorrow. It seems that we need to find a way to prevent Uncle Gao from going. Qin Wang secretly thought in his heart that Gao Yuan was a very good person, but he couldn't let him die like this. As this fragment of mine brought by treasure-gathering immortal lord from the battlefield of all souls, was he obliterated by a mysterious and terrifying existence. As a result, the collected treasures were scattered across the 9 regions. The experience has been very tortuous. Qin Wang was shocked by the 7th piece of information, and immediately looked at the 8th piece of information. The demon slayer Shu Ying got a scrap of iron in the belly of the python, and he had to find a way to get this. After all, the intelligence showed that that thing was useful to him. The next day, the sun is rising. Qin Wang woke up early in the morning and saw Gao Yuan wiping his long sword and magic weapon at the door. "Uncle Gao, are you going into the mountain?" Qin Wang stepped forward to say hello, looked at the magic weapon in Gao Yuan's hand, and asked. "Yeah, it's not possible if you don't go into the mountains to earn spiritual stones. You need spiritual stones to practice." Gao Yuan looked at Qin Wang, nodded, picked up the long knife, blew on the blade, and showed a satisfied look. "Uncle Gao, I heard someone say at Wanfa Tower yesterday that many monsters gathered together outside Qian Mountain yesterday. Some people said it was a tide of monsters, but I don't know if it's true." Qin Wang looked thoughtful and said. He could only remind him this way. You can't just say that the Demon Slayer Alliance is going to take action against their demon hunting team, right? That's hard to explain. Yesterday, I lured the demons with the psychedelic incense that lured them. It was considered a beast trend, so I told them in the name of listening to others, so there was no problem. I hope Gao Yuan can be more cautious. Tide of beasts. Gao Yuan frowned and nodded. Xiao Qin, thank you, I will consider it. Gao Yuan knew it in his heart. Beast tides are terrifying. The beast tide in Shaodan Mountain has happened before, but it happened more than 10 years ago. It seems that a monk took the egg of a monster deep in Qian Mountain that was about to advance to the 3rd level, causing the monster to bring with hordes of monsters attacking Shaodan Mountain. In the end, Xiaodanshan lost many monks, and it took the help of Master Chixia before the monster retreated. Yesterday, I have made an agreement with my eldest brother Yanglong to go to the depths of Qian Mountain to hunt the rhinoceros demon and collect some elixir to refine elixirs for improving my cultivation. There is news about the beast tide. It seems that I must inform my eldest brother for discussion. It's been a while. Okay, Uncle Gao, then I'll go get busy. Qin Wang's notification was in place, and he immediately waved to Gao Yuan, preparing to go for a walk on the street and then come back to practice. Shopping around more will help you get useful information. In the next few days, Qin Wang practiced in his hut, absorbing the spiritual energy from the spirit stone and increasing his proficiency in cultivation. Reminded by Qin Wang, Gao Yuan and his daughter Gao Wenjing declined to go to the depths of Qian Mountain, but the rest of the team went. On the way back that afternoon, they were attacked by unknown people, and 4 people were killed, and Yanglong was seriously injured. Gao Yuan went to thank Qin Wang for his reminder. Zhao Xuanting, who had perfected the 4th level of qi refining in the Demon Slayer Alliance, died in Qian Mountain. His body was gnawed by monsters, and his magic tools and storage bags were missing. The Demon Slayer Alliance felt that it was the people of the Dan Alliance who plotted against him, and a small battle broke out between the 2 sides. The murderer is still being sought. Realm, 3rd level of qi refining, 28 3/1000. Consuming 63 spirit stones, I finally reached the 3rd level of qi refining. Day 8. Qin Wang looked at his panel, with satisfaction in his eyes, and murmured. There is only one more level left. As long as I take one more step, I can open the storage bag. Qin Wang is getting closer and closer to the 4th level of qi refining, and he is also looking forward to it. At this moment, Qin Wang feels that the mana in his dantian is twice as powerful as before, and his physical strength has also increased a lot. He also discovered one thing. After advancing to the 3rd level of qi refining, the increase in cultivation proficiency by absorbing a spiritual stone has become 14 points. This is the result obtained after he consumed 2 more spiritual stones after the breakthrough. Currently, there are 25 spiritual stones, 3 bottles of Yunling pills, and 4 bottles of Bukchi pills left in his package. Try these 2 pills to see how much they can increase. Qin Wang picked up the pills he got from Liao Baida. Yunling pills have 5 pills in a bottle, a total of 15 pills. Bukchi pills also have 5 pills in a bottle, a total of 20 pills. As far as Qin Wang knows, the soul-enriching pill is sold at the Dan League for 3 soul stones each, and the qi-replenishing pill is sold at 2 soul stones each. These pills are worth 85 soul stones. Liao Baida didn't know how many low-level casual cultivators he had harmed before he collected these 7 bottles of pills. It was a bargain for himself. These pills, they have all been purified and refined by Qin Wang with the treasure bowl, so you can take them with confidence. Qin Wang took these 2 pills one by one, and he found that 1 soul-enriching pill can increase proficiency by 42 points, and 1 qi-replenishing pill can increase proficiency by 28 points. In terms of conversion, it is almost the same as the proficiency gained by absorbing soul stones. 7 days later, early morning, I still need 1792 proficiency points to break through the 4th level of qi refining stage. Qin Wang looked at the progress of cultivation on the panel, his eyes showing a thoughtful look. Realm, qi refining stage 3, 1208 3,000ths. In the current state, it is necessary to convert 128 spiritual stones to advance to the 4th level of qi refining stage and have spiritual consciousness. At present, there are only 25 spiritual stones on hand, which is not enough. Make 2 more sets of psychedelic incense to attract demons and go to the place where the male demon wild boar is. Qin Wang thought about it and made up his mind secretly. After he lit the psychedelic incense last time, those demon wild boars, demon rabbits, and armored demons were like crazy, rushing to the place where the psychedelic incense was. If he encounters a wild boar, he will light the psychedelic incense to attract demons, lure away the demon beasts, and take the opportunity to leave to ensure safety. Thinking of this, Qin Wang immediately got up, locked the door, and went to the demon slaughtering shop to buy the materials needed for the psychedelic incense. 2 portions of the psychedelic incense for attracting demons consumed 10 spiritual stones, leaving Qin Wang with only 15 spiritual stones left. He prepared everything, and headed for Qian Mountain with the soul-shocking knife and the sad and succulent sealing spirit incense. Qian Mountain, 30 miles away, under a cliff, was the small cave discovered by the male wild boar demon, which was also the information Qin Wang had obtained in the past half-month. The sun was rising. There were many monks entering the mountain, all in groups, and there were also lone travelers like Qin Wang. At noon, the sun was blazing. It should be in the crack of the stone wall ahead. This demon wild boar is a bit of a hindrance. Qin Wang hid all the way and finally came to Qian Mountain 30 miles away, under a cliff of a mountain, hiding behind a huge rock, looking at a demon wild boar in front of the crack of the stone wall ahead, his brows furrowed tightly. At this moment, the demon wild boar was in front of the crack under the mountain stream, sticking out its nose to sniff in the crack. Qin Wang saw that the demon wild boar had thick skin and flesh, and was covered with a layer of black iron-like mud armor. It was obviously an adult demon wild boar. With his cultivation, he was not enough to deal with this adult wild boar. Although the demon-luring psychedelic incense could be used, it cost 5 spiritual stones for 1 portion, and Qin Wang was reluctant to part with it. He decided to wait behind the big rock until the demon wild boar left. Until 2 hours later, the demon wild boar shook its head, swung its tail, and turned to walk away. Wild boar, let me wait for 2 hours. I must eat your meat when my cultivation level improves. Qin Wang watched the adult male wild boar demon leave, took a deep breath, and when the male wild boar left and drilled into the jungle, he unfolded the flying eagle body method, like a bullet, and landed under the cliff, in front of the crack. This crack was covered with vines, about 2 feet wide, very deep inside, dark, and a faint spiritual energy emanated from it. Even if he wanted to go in, he had to turn sideways. Go in and take a look. Qin Wang's eyes flashed, and he went in sideways with the soul-shocking knife in hand. As he walked 4 or 5 feet deeper, Qin Wang discovered that after turning a corner, there was actually a cave inside, and it was like a maze, and the spiritual energy was much richer than outside. Qin Wang immediately took out a sesame oil lamp that he had prepared and lit it. Suddenly, the cave was clearly visible. Qin Wang walked more than 30 feet inside and found a cave space with a radius of 5 feet. There was a stone stalactite about 10 feet thick with a tip as big as a fist hanging upside down above the space. Underneath the stalactite, there is a stone depression as big as a sea bowl, and the stone depression is filled with milky white spiritual milk. Streams of rich spiritual milk spread from the stone recess. Stone Bell Spirit Milk. Qin Wang took a step forward and looked at the Stone Bell Spirit Milk in the stone recess, with a look of surprise in his eyes. With so much spiritual milk that is rich in spiritual energy, if you absorb it yourself, wouldn't you be able to advance to the 4th level of the Qi refining stage? Even the 5th floor is conceivable, right? Forget it, I'll hide here and improve my cultivation later. Qin Wang stepped forward, looked at the spiritual milk carefully, and thought to himself. Inside, the wild boar demon can't come in, and no one will bother him. It's best to wait until he reaches the 4th level before going out. Thinking of this, Qin Wang immediately sat cross-legged next to the stalactite, took out the treasure bowl from the package, and scooped up half a bowl of spiritual milk. No matter what he took, it was safer to purify it with the treasure bowl first. Qin Wang had become a habit. The Stone Bell Spirit Milk was put into a treasure bowl and disappeared instantly. About an hour later, the stalactite spirit milk appeared in the bowl again. Qin Wang took a lick first, swallowed it, and began to use the 5 elements gathering technique to refine the spiritual milk into magic power. Shaodan Mountain. The entrance to cabin No. 88. Gao Yuan, who was wearing a tiger skin robe, came back from outside and saw a lock hanging on Qin Wang's door. He looked at the sky and asked his daughter Gao Wenjing behind him. Wenjing, I thought I heard you say this morning, which direction did you see Xiao Qin going? Dad, when we entered the mountain, I saw from behind that he seemed to be going to Qian Mountain. Gao Wenjing's beautiful eyes were also very confused. I haven't returned to Shaodanshan yet, so I'm a little hung up. It's even more dangerous outside Shaodan Mountain at night. This is Qian Mountain. Gao Yuan frowned. Qian Mountain was a place where monsters roamed. Why would he go there if his cultivation level was low? Could it be that he was looking for his uncle's remains again? Ever since Gao Yuan escaped death by not going into the mountain because of Qin Wang's reminder, he was grateful to Qin Wang. If it hadn't been for Qin Wang's kind reminder, he and his daughter would have died following the demon hunting team into the mountain. Therefore, Qin Wang has not come back yet, and he is also very worried. Time flies. 5 days passed in the blink of an eye. Qian Mountain. 30 miles away in the heart of the mountain. Qin Wang sat cross-legged under the stalactite, absorbing the stalactite. He felt that the mana in his body was gradually increasing and becoming stronger, and in his mind, the cultivation proficiency on the panel was also rising rapidly. The cultivation proficiency on the panel has also reached the extreme realm, 3rd level of Qi refining stage 2998 3,000ths. And there is still more than half of the Stone Bell Spirit Milk left in the stone recess in front of me. As he practiced and absorbed the stone spirit milk, Qin Wang felt that his spirit was very sharp and excited. When he looked inside, he could vaguely see the movement of meridians and mana in his body. The control of the magic power in the body is more precise than before, and it is more like an arm. PFF'd. Suddenly, Qin Wang felt a jolt in his dantian and a surge of mana all over his body. In an instant, he felt that his consciousness was extremely happy and his energy was particularly good. He discovered that even if he didn't look behind him, he could still see the scene 1 foot away from his body. And he also discovered that his dantian had doubled in size instantly. The dantian space can accommodate more mana. It's finally the 4th level of the Qi refining stage. Divine consciousness was born. Qin Wang felt the majestic magic power in his body and the birth of divine consciousness, and was extremely pleasantly surprised. Although divine consciousness can only extend 1 foot outside the body, but this is also a huge improvement. You can now open Qingyao Master's storage bag. Besides, the buried storage bag of Zhao Xuanting can also be opened. Qin Wang was looking forward to the storage bags of these 2 people. Forget it, let's absorb all this Stone Bell Spirit Milk in one go. Qin Wang's heart skipped a beat and he continued to absorb the spiritual milk in the stone recess. After advancing to the 4th level of the Qi refining stage, and then to the 5th level, the proficiency increased from 3,000 to 4,000. In a cave on the mountainside, silence fell again. Early in the morning, information refreshed daily. Today's information. 1. Yesterday, you absorbed the stalactite to advance to the 4th level of the Qi refining stage and obtained information. The stalactite was formed by the air of heaven and earth absorbed by this mountain over the years and dripping down the stalactite. This grotto on the mountainside was once a road. Underground rivers, caves formed by changes in the earth's crust. 2. You did not return to cabin number 88 yesterday. After receiving the information, Yao Yuan and his daughter saw that you had not returned for so long, thinking that you had been killed by the monster, and sighed sadly. 3. You have not returned for more than 6 days, and we have received information. According to the usual practice, Shaodanshan Foreign Affairs Hall will deal with the monks who have been missing for half a month as if they were dead monsters, and take back the things in the monks' huts, as well as the rented spirits field. 4. You have not returned for 6 days and are not aware of the changes in Shaodanshan in the past few days. After receiving the information, Zhao Yulong, the elder of Shaodanshan Foreign Affairs Hall, decided to increase the rent of casual cultivators in Shaodanshan. 5. You have not returned for 6 days. After receiving information, Zhao Haifeng, the son of Zhao Yulong, the foreign affairs elder, learned that you have not returned for 6 days and intends to rent your spiritual field at half price and occupy the spiritual valley you have planted. 6. You have not returned for 6 days, and I have received information that Zhao Haifeng, the henchman of the foreign affairs elder Zhao Yulong's family, is planning to go to your house tomorrow to see if he can gain anything. 7. Yesterday, outside the cave where you practice, an adult black boar demon was looking for spiritual energy and obtained information. The black boar demon's lair has 4 second-order firebird tail feathers and a piece of copper. The tail feathers are refined fire attributes. An excellent material for magical instruments, copper sheets are a mysterious thing. 8. Yesterday, outside the cave where you practice, an adult black wild boar demon was looking for spiritual energy and obtained information. The black wild boar demon's partner gave birth to 12 little black wild boar demons yesterday. 9. Shu Ying, a demon slayer at the early stage of the 4th level of the Qi refining stage who you stroke the demon-inducing psychedelic sachet yesterday to obtain information and sell you the materials, was attacked by Zhao Xuanzhen at night, and his storage bag was snatched away by Zhao Xuanzhen. 10. You absorbed the stone bell spirit milk in the cave yesterday and obtained information that there are 4 snake eggs in a snake cave 30 miles away from you. Uncle Gao saw that I didn't go back. Are you still worried about me? Qin Wang felt warm in his heart when he looked at the second piece of information. I have to say, there are still good people. Good on you, Zhao Haifeng. You actually want to take advantage of me. It's your uncle's fault. When Qin Wang saw the 5th and 6th pieces of information, murderous intent suddenly flashed in his eyes. Zhao Haifeng, he doesn't know. But Zhao Yulong knew it. According to the information obtained from Master Qingyao's preliminary explanation of the elixir, Zhao Yulong is not a good guy. As Master Qingyao's best friend, in order to pursue Zhang Panpan, he plotted against Master Qingyao, who was in love with Zhang Panpan and intended to dominate Zhang Panpan. Only, intelligence showed that Zhang Panpan was practicing at the spiritual medicine sect and not at Shaodan Mountain, which meant that Zhao Yulong had failed. As far as Qin Wang knows, Zhao Yulong's cultivation is at the 9th level of Qi refining stage, and he is already on the verge of establishing the foundation. He is just waiting for the foundation establishment pill. Such a person is still the steward of Shaodan Mountain, and he cannot afford to offend him for the time being. The boar demon's nest has the tail feathers of a firebird. And a mysterious piece of copper. How mysterious. And there are 12 little wild boar monsters. It would taste good if they were caught to make roasted suckling pig. Qin Wang looked at the 7th and 8th pieces of information, his eyes flickering. When you get out, you can go and have a look. Demon Slayer Shu Ying's belongings were taken away by Zhao Xuanzhen. It seems that the iron piece was also taken away by him. Qin Wang looked at the 9th piece of information and calculated that if he wanted to find the iron piece in the future, he would have to start with Zhao Xuanzhen. I have to go back first, otherwise, my cabin will be taken away. Qin Wang looked at the remaining half of the stone bell spirit milk and made secret calculations. But it's early in the morning, not the time to go back, so I take advantage of this time to open the storage bag I got from Master Qingyao. With the storage bag, everything can be put in it, including these stone stalactites. Thinking of this, Qin Wang immediately took out the storage bag from Master Qingyao from his carry-on package. This storage bag is gray and has a small drawstring on it, which is as big as a palm and light. Qin Huang immediately held the storage bag in his hand, closed his eyes, and his newly born consciousness slowly extended towards the storage bag. Qin Huang obviously had his eyes closed, but he saw a gray bag, which was a storage bag. His consciousness fell on the storage bag, spread over, and wrapped the storage bag. The next moment, Qin Huang felt his eyes light up. He found that his consciousness saw a space with a radius of 2 feet. It was filled with things, various medicinal materials, elixirs, and a bookshelf against the wall. There were many books on it. Few books and books. In the middle of the space, there is a table with a wooden box on it. Inside is a spiritual stone, estimated to be several hundred yuan. Big catch. Scent. I didn't expect that Master Qingyao left me so many spiritual stones. Qin Huang looked at the spiritual stones and classics in the storage bag with a look of surprise in his eyes. Explosive flame technique, earth armor technique, green wood sword. As expected of Master Qingyao. In addition to these few spells, there are actually so many elixirs left. Qin Huang stepped forward, looked at the classics on the bookshelf, and found 3 magic classics, probably because they were low-level spells, suitable for those below the 4th level of the qi refining stage, and they were all left in the form of books. Jade slips. Suddenly, Qin Huang found a pale white jade slip in the grid next to the book. He took it out immediately, his consciousness enveloped him, and he immediately saw messages appearing in his mind. First level alchemy inheritance. After roughly reading the contents of the pale white jade slip, Qin Huang looked thoughtful. According to what is said in this jade slip, Master Qingyao once received an opportunity to inherit alchemy. Although it was a first level one, he could only refine low-level elixirs such as Yunling Pill, Body Tempering Pill, and Qi Building Pill. The nickname, Qingyao Master, came from Shan Hun. It is quite famous in Shaodanshan. I couldn't find the talisman. It must have been consumed during the battle with Zhao Yulong. Qin Huang searched in the storage bag again and thought to himself. This is. Suddenly, Qin Huang saw a black sword in the storage bag on the bottom shelf of the bookshelf. However, the sword only had a hilt and a 1-foot blade, and 2 feet of the tip were missing. Qin Huang picked up the broken sword and felt it was heavy, dark and murderous. Put away the remaining stone spirit milk first. Early tomorrow morning, go find the black boar demon's lair and get the 4 firebird feathers and the mysterious object. Qin Huang saw that there was nothing to hold the stone spirit milk. He directly took the shocking knife and dug up the stone concave. Then he stretched out his hand to touch the stone concave containing the stone bell spirit milk. With a movement of consciousness, he put it into the storage bag. Got everything packed up. Qin Huang sat cross-legged and meditated to recharge his batteries and wait for dawn. Early morning. The sun is rising. Qian Mountain. In the gap in the cliff, Qin Huang stood in the gap, looking at the black wild boar demon at the entrance of the gap. 1 person, 1 pig, and 4 eyes looked at each other without moving. His grandma's. This black wild boar comes to absorb spiritual energy early in the morning. You got up quite early. Qin Huang looked at the black boar demon standing at the gap, which was as big as a calf, and his eyes were shocked. However, with his cultivation at the 4th level of the qi refining stage, he was not afraid of the black boar demon anymore. As long as you're not surrounded by a group of black boar demons, you'll be fine. Qin Huang pulled out the shocking knife. HMPH. When the adult wild boar demon saw Qin Huang taking out the knife, his eyes flashed fiercely, and he snorted a few times, but he stood still, as if waiting for Qin Huang to come out. Qin Huang turned sideways and walked forward along the gap, and stabbed forward with the shocking knife. Clang! The tip of the knife pierced the black boar demon's head and collided with the hard mud armor, making a loud noise. The black boar demon took a few steps back and stood 3 feet away, showing a vigilant and angry look, as if he was waiting for Qin to see him and then attack. The black boar demon's lair should be nearby, but we need to find it. Qin Huang looked at the wild boar demon. His figure flashed and appeared on the cliff. He looked down at the black boar demon and picked up stones to throw at it. The black boar demon roared a few times. Seeing that Qin Huang could not be helped, he turned around and ran eastward along the cliff. Is it going back to the lair? Qin Huang's heart moved, and he immediately followed the black boar demon. The black wild boar demon walked through the trees on the mountain road at an extremely fast speed. Qin Wang followed cautiously. He saw several black wild boars foraging in the trees more than 30 feet away. Qin Wang carefully avoided it. About half a quarter of an hour later, the pig demon who was looking for the spiritual energy of the cracks came to a place where two huge rocks were carried in the shape of an 8. There was a large cave, and there was a burst of humming chirping calls from the little piglet's voice. Qin Wang carefully looked in the bushes more than 10 feet away, and found that inside the cave, there was a black wild boar demon lying on the ground, with its belly exposed and more than a dozen-foot-long piglets sucking milk. It's a bit difficult to lure them out. You have to use the demon-baiting psychedelic incense. Qin Wang hid in the bushes and thought to himself. There are a lot of pig demons scattered around here. If they are disturbed, it may be difficult to deal with them. Anyway, the stone bell spirit milk has been obtained. It is time to light the demon-baiting psychedelic incense, lure the boars and sows away, and take the opportunity to get the fire feathers and mysterious objects inside. At the same time, because of the attraction of the monster-baiting psychedelic incense, all the nearby monsters rushed to the place where the monster-baiting psychedelic incense was, and he could return to Shouten Mountain safely. Thinking of this, Qin Wang immediately came 300 feet away and lit the demon-baiting psychedelic incense with the skill of the fire spirit sword. As the psychedelic incense burns, a colorless breath spread quickly. Qin Wang dropped the psychedelic incense on the spot and quickly avoided it. Humph, humph, HMPH. At the same time, waves of wild boar demons roared, and black boar demons, rabbit demons, armored demons, and snake demons from all directions rushed towards the place where the fragrance was emitted. Qin Wang found out. The two wild boar demons in the 8-shaped cave were no exception. They rushed out, followed by more than a dozen little wild boar cubs. Good chance. Qin Wang's eyes lit up and he immediately galloped towards the figure 8. After a few breaths, Qin Wang appeared in the wild boar monster cave. He found that the cave was about 10 feet deep, and the ground inside was covered with weeds, among which there were 4 fire feathers. Qin Wang crouched down and entered. The cave was full of stench. He grabbed the fire feather immediately and looked for the copper piece shown in the intelligence. But he searched for a long time but couldn't find it. He immediately lifted the weeds on the ground and saw a palm-sized copper piece under the straw. It should be this copper piece. Qin Wang glanced at the copper piece and found that there were many rice-sized words on it. He glanced at the cave again. After seeing that there was nothing missing, he immediately put the copper piece into the storage bag, flashed, and turned away. Qin Wang turned his head and found that dense monsters were rushing towards the psychedelic incense, as if there was a beast tide. An hour later, Qin Wang left Qian Mountain and came to a forest 10 miles away from Shouten Mountain. He reached out and touched his storage bag. Suddenly, the fire feathers of the fire bird and the copper piece he had just obtained from the wild boar monster's cave appeared in his hand. Just now, he had no time to take a closer look in the wild boar's nest, which was full of dangers. Now he had time to check. The 4 fire feathers exuded a blazing fire attribute. No wonder the wild boar monster took them to its nest. This is a good thing for keeping warm. Is this the mysterious thing shown in the intelligence? Qin Wang looked at the copper piece again. The copper piece had an irregular shape and sharp faults. It was really hard to see anything. Qin Wang immediately wrapped it with his spiritual sense and probed into it. Suddenly, he found that his spiritual sense sensed a mantra. The method of locking the soul and hiding the breath. Is this a mantra for concealing cultivation? Qin Wang saw the information displayed in the copper piece and was immediately delighted, muttering, "Great, come here when you feel sleepy." This is a formula to conceal the cultivation level of the qi refining stage. After hiding, unless it is a cultivator in the foundation establishment stage, the qi refining stage cannot see the real cultivation level at all. When he came out of Shouten Mountain, he was at the 2nd level of the qi refining stage. Now he is at the 4th level of the qi refining stage. He was worried about how to explain it when he went back. Unexpectedly, he picked up this copper piece in the wild boar monster's lair. Practice first, hide your cultivation level and then go back. Qin Wang made up his mind and immediately found a hidden place in the crevice of the stone in the forest to hide. He covered his head with leaves and hid inside. According to the method of locking soul and hiding breath in the copper piece, he began to practice. This copper piece only records the formula of the qi refining stage, which is definitely enough for Qin Huang at present. Although, this copper plate only records the formulas for the qi refining period, but for the current Qin Huang, it is definitely enough. The next day, afternoon, it's finally done. Qin Huang slowly opened his eyes, feeling the cultivation in his body that had reached the second level of the qi refining stage, with a look of satisfaction in his eyes. From yesterday afternoon to today's afternoon, Qin Huang used the soul locking and breath hiding technique to hide his fourth level qi refining stage cultivation in the second level qi refining stage. If we go back this way, there will be no problem. At the same time, he went to the place where Zhao Xuanting's storage bag was hidden, took out Zhao Xuanting's storage bag, pulled out the magic sword and harpoon magic weapon, and put them into the storage bag. Because Zhao Xuanting is dead, the mark of Zhao Xuanting's consciousness on the storage bag dissipated. Qin Wang's consciousness enveloped the storage bag and he quickly opened it. Oh my god, this Zhao Xuanting is such a beast. So rich. How many low-level cultivators must have been killed to have such a wealth? Qin Huang opened Zhao Xuanting's storage bag with shock in his eyes. The size of the space is the same as that of Qing Yao Master's storage bag, but it is packed to the brim. There are more than 10 bottles of spirit accumulating pills, body tempering pills, and qi replenishing pills alone. I did a rough count of the spirit stones and estimated them to be 300 to 400 yuan. There are more than 10 wind blade talismans and defensive talismans, monster materials, low-level elixirs, and a few jade slips. At this moment, the 40 spiritual stones that Zhao Xuanting extorted that time were brought back with their own money. Fortunately, Zhao Xuanting didn't take me seriously at the beginning. Moreover, the sorrow-sealing spirit incense was quick to take effect and powerful, causing Zhao Xuanting to lose his combat effectiveness. Otherwise, my things would have become part of Zhao Xuanting's storage bag. Quote. Qin Huang looked at Zhao Xuanting's storage bag and felt very happy. At the same time, he even secretly told himself in his heart that the road to becoming an immortal is like walking on thin ice, so one must have multiple perspectives and multiple guarantees. Don't make a move without complete assurance. One wrong step and your body and soul will be destroyed. Qin Huang packed up everything and headed straight to Shaodan Mountain. In Shaodanshan, scattered cultivators live in shanty towns. In Cabin No. 88, Qiang Magic, Martial Arts, Map of Da Kang's Power. A pile of banknotes. What a poor guy. A tall, middle-aged monk with a big belly was cleaning things in the room, muttering dissatisfiedly while cleaning. Qin Huang was a few feet away from his shanty when he saw Gao Yuan next door dealing with a rabbit monster at the door. He had just skinned it. When he saw Qin Huang, he immediately stood up and said in surprise. Xiao Qin, you're okay. That's great. Uncle Gao, I was trapped in a cave these days. I just got out today. Thank you for your concern, Uncle Gao. Qin Huang smiled slightly at Gao Yuan. In Gao Yuan's room, Gao Wenjing heard Qin Wang's return and walked out of the room. She smiled back at Qin Huang and motioned to the door of Qin Wang's room number 88. Qin Huang followed Gao Wenjing's gaze and looked at his cabin. He frowned immediately. The intelligence showed that Zhao Haifeng was coming to his room to enjoy the autumn breeze yesterday. However, due to delay, he came today and unexpectedly happened to bump into him. Your kid hasn't come back for a few days. I thought you were buried in the belly of a monster. I didn't expect that you were back. My name is Zhao Haifeng, from the Foreign Affairs Hall of Shaodan Shanfang City. According to the regulations of Shaodan Shanfang City, any monk who has been missing for more than half a month, members of the Foreign Affairs Hall of Shaodanshan have the right to take back the rented shanty house. Rent someone else again. We heard that you were missing for 7 or 8 days, so we came to take a look. Now that you're back, the shanty lease continues. Seeing Qin Huang appear at the door, Zhao Haifeng, who was looking through Qin Wang's package, suddenly showed an embarrassed look on his face and laughed, as if nothing was wrong. Junior Qin Huang, thank you for your concern, Senior. When Qin Huang heard this, he remained silent and respectfully clasped his fists at Zhao Haifeng. Behind Zhao Haifeng is his family member Zhao Yulong. Zhao Yulong is a monk at the 9th level of qi refining stage. It is not appropriate for him to provoke him now, so he can only look for opportunities to trick him. Zhao Haifeng nodded arrogantly, put his hands behind his back, and said suddenly. Also, let me tell you that the rent of shanties has recently increased by half. Also, because you have been missing for so long, your spiritual field has been rented to someone else. You need to go to the Foreign Affairs Hall to create a new registration and rent a new spiritual field. Ah, rented it to someone else. Rented it again. Senior Zhao, what about my spiritual valley? Qin Wang's heart sank. Intelligence showed that Zhao Haifeng intended to rent his spiritual field at half price and occupy the spiritual valley that had been planted. Unexpectedly, this old guy would take action so quickly. You can only blame yourself for this. After missing for so long, you can only rent a spiritual field and buy spiritual grain seeds to plant again. Zhao Haifeng left a word and turned around to leave. Qin Wang looked at Zhao Haifeng's back and was speechless for a long time. Xiao Qin, forget it. Zhao Haifeng is the descendant of Zhao Yulong, the steward of the Foreign Affairs Hall. He has always been domineering in Shaodanshan. Let's just follow him. There was an old man Zhang who opposed him before, and he suffered a disaster on the third day. Shui. Seeing Qin Wang's expression, Gao Yuan came over and patted Qin Wang's shoulder, fearing that if Qin Wang was so strong-willed that he would offend Zhao Haifeng, it would be the end of him. Uncle Gao, I know. Qin Wang smiled gratefully at Gao Yuan. In his heart, he had already decided that Zhao Haifeng was a dead man. As long as there was a chance, he would definitely kill Zhao Haifeng. Gao Yuan said nothing more, nodded to Qin Wang, and went to get the rabbit meat. Qin Wang returned to his hut and found that some of the things left behind were all messed up by Zhao Haifeng. He immediately became more murderous. Fortunately, he carried the treasure bowl, the soul-gathering bowl, and the mysterious fragments with him. What was left behind were some mundane things, such as the secret book of the Qiang divine art, the secret book of the flying eagle body movement, silver bills, and gold jewelry, which Zhao Haifeng did not look down on. Qin Wang packed everything up and prepared to clean up the big harvest of this outing. Suddenly, there was a sound at the door. Xiao Qin, open the door. Gao Wenjing. Qin Wang opened the door, but found Gao Wenjing standing at the door, holding a large bowl of rabbit soup in his hand, exuding a rich fragrance. Xiao Qin, this is how the world of immortal cultivation works. We'll rent a spiritual field tomorrow. Drink this while it's hot. Gao Wenjing walked in, put the soup on the table in the room, and ran back quickly. Qin Wang looked at the bowl of soup and felt a warm feeling. Although Zhao Haifeng was vicious, Gao Yuan and his daughter were very nice people. Clean up the harvest. After Qin Wang finished drinking the soup, he locked the door, went to the back room, and took out all the spiritual stones in the storage bag. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.